Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Ringo TV Reactions. I'm your host, Ringo. Top of the morning. Let's get into the content. What we're talking about this morning is how women bashing channels attract and produce weak men. That's right. How women bashing channels attract and produce weak men. Now, a lot of men don't understand the severity of this issue. I got to break this thing down because if I don't speak the truth on this, then a lot of you guys are going to fall to the wayside. You're going to be destroyed because a lot of content creators, they're just hustling you at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I'm probably one of the only content creators that actually keep it official and keep it a buck with the people. You know, I don't come on here to lie. I don't come on here to manipulate. I don't come on over here to pander and try to appease a certain crowd in order for them to accept me. I just speak the truth. The truth of the matter is women bashing channels actually affect men in a negative way. And we're going to explain exactly what's going on so that everybody is on point. Number one, as a man, you're supposed to be focusing on getting your money, getting your health, making sure that you have a stable mind, and so on and so forth. Now, what does the woman bashing channel does? It plays on your defeat. A woman bashing channel plays on your defeat, your insecurities, the fact that you really don't have the woman you really desire. Because, as I said many times through many videos, if every last one of you brothers had a woman that was fine from head to toe, and she's in your life, she cook, clean, provide loving, all that good stuff, you would not be on social media, on men bashing channels, entertaining a goofy who is constantly speaking negative about women all day. Why? Because you have a good woman. So typically, the truth of the matter is men that are attracted to these things, number one, are not focusing on getting their money. They're not in the gym, and they don't got no woman. Because if they were in the gym, they wouldn't be entertained. They wouldn't be entertaining the buffoonery. If they had a good quality woman, they would not be in the comments saluting a brother for bashing women all day. Now, there's a difference between bringing out a problem and then you have a solution. In other words, let's say, hypothetically speaking, we're talking about dating, marriage, and the gender war between men and women, and we're trying to attack the problem. Well, in the case of attacking the problem, you got to talk about the problem from both of the sexes, not just women, but also men too. Now, on the male channels that bash women, they don't ever talk about what men do. They don't ever talk about the problems that men do and how it contributes to the downfall of the black family and so on and so forth. They never do that. What they focus on predominantly is what women are doing, and they only focus on the negativity. And in the process of this happening, right, the men are not focusing on quality women. They're focusing on the women that nobody want. Because you have to think about this. Why do men focus on 304s? Why do they focus on loose women? Why do they focus on single mothers that are jumping in and out of relationships? And they focus on that all day. It's because that's entertaining to men that don't get women. It's entertaining to men that can't focus on anything other than the entertainment side of, you know, why they don't got a woman. Because again, if every man had a woman, if every man had love in his life, had a family, he would not be concerned about none of these things. So it's big business. It's big business to keep the men dumbed down. Now, what I'm sharing with you the powers that be do not want you guys to hear. They do not want you guys to hear. Think about this, guys. We've been on for 5 minutes. There's only 14 people watching. 175,000 subscriber channel. What's going on? I'll tell you exactly what's going on. The powers that be really have all content creators in their hands. The goal is to keep the Black family separated. Now, a lot of us content creators, we talk about Black issues, we talk about relationships, we talk about all these different things, but we're all a pawn in the game and don't even realize it. I'm going to explain why. We talk about blood sacrifices, we talk about people selling their souls, we talk about all these different things. But the truth of the matter is, as a content creator, you automatically sold your soul depending on the category you choose to be in. If you're a female bashing channel, then guess what? You already sold your soul. If you're a man bashing channel, you already sold your soul because the powers that be got you exactly where they want you to be. You are in a position where your job is to bash women all day to make the young men that are coming up in the game hate women. If you're a woman who bash men all day, you have a channel that is being used by the powers that be to continue to desensitize and break down the young women so that they can now hate men. So in the process of this happening, the gender war continues. The powers that be is happy. Yeah, you get your money, but in the process, our community don't thrive. So what I'm trying to present to you is pretty much how women bashing channels attract and produce weak men. Now, it attracts weak men and produce weak men because the content creator is going to speak to your defeat. He's going to speak to the things that trouble you. He's going to speak to the problems that you face every day when it comes to women and why you're not getting them. Do you understand? Because again, if you were getting women, you wouldn't be watching. If you were really pulling women, you would not be caring. If you are really having sex, you would not be watching any videos about men complaining about women. Why? Because you get women. You won't see Money Mayweather on YouTube typing in, such and such 304, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's watching that. Men that get women do not watch that content. It's normally men who don't get women. Men who masturbate all day watch female bashing channels. Just like women who don't attract or get men, they watch male bashing channels. And they're entertained by that because it makes them feel good. And the content creator behind the platform really don't care about you. They just care about that check that's coming in. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand on social media, right? That's why I'm really the only authentic YouTube channel there is, because I really don't have time to pander to neither of the groups because I'm actually a family man. I actually have the results. I'm actually on the front line doing the things that a man is supposed to do. But what's interesting about this is that when you are, in fact, a man, a father, a family man, or whatever the case is, and you're on your job, people tend to not want to listen to you. They rather listen to a person who is single, that don't have no relationship, talk a lot of stuff about relationships when they don't even got the results. I just don't understand, how could you as an individual that graduated high school listen to a goofball who don't have a relationship, don't have a wife, and you're listening to him for advice on how to have success in relationships? That's like going to a guy that is homeless. He's living in a box on the streets, and you're going to him and you're asking him for financial advice. It's crazy. Why would you be going to someone who is homeless, no money in their pocket, but you're trying to seek financial advice from them? Does that make any sense? It makes no sense, but this is exactly what you do every day when you come on YouTube. You go to platforms of guys that got no wife, no kids, no nothing. And if they got kids, these men are on child support. Why would you be listening to a man that's on child support? Why would you be listening to a man that is literally struggling? He's on child support, no wife, no relationship, no success, but he's bashing women all day, and you're entertained by that. As a young man, you're supposed to count your costs and say, wait a minute now, I don't want to end up like this guy. I don't want to end up on child support like this guy. I don't want to end up single and miserable like this guy. He's bashing women all day. How does this improve and help my life? Well, exactly, it's not. It just makes you more weak. Because what he's essentially trying to do is turn you into him. Again, misery loves company, and a lot of weak men, they prey upon other young, impressionable men in order to control them via content by making them believe that everything that's outside in the world is evil. So in other words, they'll fearmonger, they will make you worry, they'll tell you, women ain't no good, you don't want to get married because women are out to get you, but yet all of you guys are trying to have sex with women. So my question is this to all the men. If women are no good, if watching the female bashing channels is the thing to do, if just degrading women as much as possible is your goal, why are you trying to have sex with them? Why are you trying to sleep with them? If you're saying that women don't want to be cooperative, if women don't want to get married, women don't want to do this, okay, why are you trying to sleep with these women? See, that's where you get the crickets. That's where all of a sudden now it's not entertaining. So the question you have to ask yourself is this, man. Are you trying to be entertained, or are you trying to improve your life? Are you trying to mature as men, or are you just wanting to be entertained? Because if you want to sleep with women and you're not interested in wifing them up, how does that make you any better than the women you complain about? How do it make you a better man if you're calling women 304s, if you're constantly bashing women, but at the end of the day, you just want to get your rocks off? You just want to sleep with them with no commitment. How does that make you better? How? And see, this is the hypocrisy of what social media produce. And this is why I said the powers that be control platforms, because what happens is a lot of content creators are not really here because they want to improve you as a people. They're not here because they want to give you real world advice that's going to improve the Black community, Black people as a whole, Black family. They're not concerned with that. They're concerned with a check. So as a viewer, you got to demand more. You just can't be the kind of person who just come to platforms, viewing platforms that bash women, that bash men, and you don't demand better. You got to begin to demand better and say, wait a minute now, look, you're doing the same thing for year and year and year. Like year after year, you're doing the same thing. What are the actual solutions that we can do to make our communities better, that can make men and women join together? Because it seems like everybody is taking a side, and what we're trying to do is keep us all divided while everybody's getting a check. The content creator just gets a check, and he don't really care about what's going on in your real life. And this is the problem that I see. And as authentic as I am, I don't get rewarded for it. I don't get rewarded for it. I don't get millions of views for it, because it seems like in today's day, the viewers are dumbed down. The viewers want to be entertained. If I just make content bashing women all day, I'll have hundreds of thousands of views. You know why? Because most men are losers. Most men are not getting pussy the way you think. They're just not. They're masturbating all day. They're just not getting women. You know why? Because on the other hand, the women are holding their bodies for the men that are willing to spend the money. Why? Because the female channels that bash men are focused on telling the women, don't give up the cookies unless he's taking you here, doing this, buying you this. So women are literally believing that their bodies is a product and a service in which they got to sell in order to get whatever they want. So on both sides, both parties are suffering because the influencers are being controlled by the devil. You see how that works? Now, Kevin Samuels had his run. He's not here no more. He's dead. You know why? For a very good reason. And a lot of people may not like that, but there's a reason why he's dead. There's a reason why. Because the community was not growing. The community was going down. And because of this, we have new Kevin Samuels that are literally popping up all over the blue. New guys that are just popping up all over the world. And what these guys are doing is essentially breaking down the community even further. See, I did my research about this content creator. See, I like to go back in time. And I noticed that he have a video titled Kevin Samuels, High Value Man Explained in Detail. So I know where his motivation come from. So it's no different. It's no wonder why he focuses on bashing women. I mean, this guy talked about how to apply cologne. This guy made videos talking about he was rejected for years, how style transformed my life. Stop getting rejected by the girl you like. I mean, you could just tell what kind of guy he is. You know, a typical loser that was just out there struggling. And then he just decided to put on an image, and you guys, because you're dumb and slow, you just decided to follow it. And this is typically what Kevin Samuels did. Kevin Samuels focused on cologne, style, dress, and then one day he popped up talking about relationship stuff. And y'all went with it. And then now what? The black community went down. Now today we got all these problems with women wanting high value men. Well, who was publishing that content? Who was telling women, do you want a high value man? Kevin Samuels was. So now because of that, every woman wants a man with six figures. You can't see the problem. You can't see the issue. You can't see, brothers, that every woman you run into is asking you, do you make six figures? Didn't Kevin Samuels make it very clear that not every man is making six figures? It's only about 8%, 10%. So if only 8 to 10% of men are making six figures, why is it that every woman that's coming around is expecting a man to make this kind of money? Because they were brainwashed and they were trained into believing that this guy exists. And because of this, it's just nothing but problems. Do you know women that are unattractive are now rejecting men? I'm talking about women that are unattractive are now rejecting men. You got women that are not pretty at all that are starting OnlyFans and they're getting a following of thirsty men. More men have subscriptions to OnlyFans than actual women in their real life. Everything is digital now. Men are now having digital relationships with images and video clips because of social media influencers. So what I'm trying to make you understand is the real reason on how women bashing channels attract and produce weak men. It makes us as men weak because we're not focusing on our health. More men are dying in their early 50s than in their 80s and 90s because we're chasing pussy. We're focused on women all day. And it's normally because you're not getting something. Look, if you're eating good, right, you're not going to be talking about food all day. You're not going to be talking about, I got to go shopping. If you got a house full of food, you got access to it. It's not important. It's not like I got to keep talking about this. I don't have to keep talking about how bad food is if I got food and I'm able to eat good. So when men are constantly talking about how horrible women are and how bad women are and they're focusing on nothing but problems, it's because those guys don't have no woman. And they know that the majority of the male viewers that are viewing the content are attracted to that content. It's because these men typically don't have no women. Again, if I was to introduce each one of you men to a quality woman that's highly attractive, beautiful from head to toe, and she's serving you and catering to you and doing everything for you, I promise you, you would not be interested in content creators that talk about how women are trash, how they're no good, they're not loyal. You would not be listening to none of that because you got yourself a woman. So when men are attracted to these platforms, it's because these are men with no woman. Do you understand me? These are men that have no women. These are not men that get women. How could a man sit up all day listening to a man bash women by calling them 304s all day? Am I saying 304s don't exist? I'm not saying that. Am I saying that there aren't women out there that are promiscuous? I'm not saying that it don't exist. But the point is, how long are we going to talk about the same damn thing? And how long are you hypocrites are going to be out there trying to sleep with these women? How could you as a man know that women are out here 304ing, but yet you want to sleep with them, but then you want to bash them for being a 304? Which one is it? Because if that was the case, none of you guys would be having sex. How many men are out here trying to have sex with women? Pretty much the majority. So what does that make you? A hypocrite. Because if you're saying that the women are loose, if you're saying that the women are promiscuous, what about you? Are your intentions to marry a woman and take care of her? No. Is your intentions to be a husband? No. So what is your intentions when you meet a woman? To sleep with her. Okay, what does that make you? A whoremonger male. So how could you judge a woman when you are the same? And see, this is how society have dumbed down our people, and the content creators are the responsible ones who are publishing this garbage. Again, there's nothing wrong with pointing out the obvious problems and then having the solutions to fix them. There's nothing wrong if there's a woman who's doing evil or she's promiscuous and you do a reaction video and you're correcting the situation. But it's another thing when your entire platform is predicated upon just bashing women all day, because it's not helping the men, because all it's doing is making them weak. It's making them hate the women. It's just like how when you have channels that tell men don't get married to women. Let's get a prenup. Don't marry none of these women. Okay, what is that doing for society? Because we're all getting older. So we're going to all be in our 50s. None of us married, none of us producing children. So what's really happening to us as a people? We're divided. Now, what about all the other nations? What about white men? What about Asian, Jewish, and so on and so forth? They're marrying and reproducing. What are we doing? We're divided and we're growing extinct. And that's exactly what happened. And at the same time, the content creator gets a check. So his bills are being paid off of your misery. And that's exactly how the hustle work. So when you got men bashing channels where women constantly bash men, if you notice, each and every one of those women are single. If you do a thorough research on content creators and really elevate your thought process, you'll learn that the majority of either male or female bashing channels, all of these people are single, miserable, and alone. And it's a hustle. It's a hustle. Look, guys, I'm a content creator. I'm a professional at what I do. At the same time, I'm the only authentic one in these spaces that will tell you the truth. A male bashing channel where women congregate talking about how negative men are and men ain't this. These channels typically comprise with the amount of women that are either single mothers that have nothing but baby daddy drama, women that are searching for a provider male. Why do you think women follow a Shira 7? A woman who is married or with a 90-year-old man who can't get it up, who is not laying pipe. There is no way that Shira 7 can tell you that her old ass husband is laying pipe in that house, blowing her back out, giving her orgasms every damn night. There is no way she could tell you that's happening. But she'll tell you ladies how to get your money. What do you think she's doing to you? Poisoning you, destroying you, making you look at men as if though they're just a meal ticket. And all she's doing it for is a check. She don't care about you. As long as that check is coming in, as long as that money is coming in, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. You think she's going to tell her daughter that? I don't think she's telling her daughter that. If you believe that Shira 7 is telling her daughter all that garbage that she tell you ladies, you better think again. She's not telling her daughters, go out there, get yourself a provider male, do X. She's not telling them that. In that house she live at, it's a whole nother world when she talking to her girls. Whole nother situation. She's telling them, you better respect that man. You better do this. You better be a wife. You better do. She's not going to tell her daughters. to go out there and do the things that she tell you ladies to do. Because what she's basically training you to do is basically prostitute yourself. In other words, sell yourself to the highest bidder. You get it? So when you see these kind of channels, you as a viewer got to think and wake up and be like, wait a minute, how is this channel improving me? How is this channel making me a better person? Is it making me make better decisions for my life? Because like I said, all of you guys at the sound of my voice supposed to be in the gym. You're supposed to be focusing on your health. You're supposed to be focusing on working towards your goals, your purpose, making money, improving your bottom line. And then as you do that and you develop yourself, then you acquire a woman or women, whatever the situation is, depend on how your lifestyle is. But you got to make sure that you're taking care of these women, and you got to make sure that you're building a family. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're not doing that as a man and your goal is just to sleep with women, then how could you judge a woman who is a 304, a woman who is promiscuous, a woman who is in the streets? Why is it that it's so entertaining for you to listen to men bash women all day when all you do is enable those kind of women? You listen to men bash women who are in the streets, but you as a man are in the streets yourself trying to sleep with the very same women that are in the streets. You can't see that you are a hypocrite. You can't see that you're an enabler. You can't see that you are part of the problem. What makes you so righteous? What makes you so righteous if you're trying to sleep with the very same women that men are bashing all day? Because based on what I'm seeing, men love 304s. Based on what I see in society right now, primarily black men love 304s. Why? You're signed up to OnlyFans. You follow all these Instagram 304s. You follow all of the flirt pages, all the dating sites where 304s congregate. You're there. So you love 304s. Let's just call it what it is. Black men love women that are from the streets. They love them because your goal is to sleep with them. Why? Because you know they're from the streets. You know good and well you're unable to sleep with a good woman who's trying to save herself for marriage and get herself right. You know you can't just sleep with her. You know that already. You know you cannot get in bed with a decent woman that's probably in church, a woman that have respect for herself, a woman that is on, the right path. You can't just sleep with that woman. She's not going to tolerate that. So the women that you do get to sleep with are 304s, streetwalkers, women that are for the streets. But yet you guys will congregate on platforms that degrade and bash women all day. I don't get it. Like, I just don't understand how could you be there doing that mess all day? It don't make no sense whatsoever to be on a channel where a man is constantly bashing and degrading women, but yet that's the kind of woman you want to sleep with low key. Because here's the thing, guys. If we're all against 304s, if we're against women that are promiscuous, right? Then that means none of us brothers are having sex, right? So that means all of you brothers that are following these platforms are monks. None of you get women. Because if you are getting women and you are having sex with women, my next question is, why aren't you men married to these women? And if you're not married to these women, then what does that make you? Just like the very same women you complain about. And see, this is the problem with what social media has done to our people. Both the men are hypocrites and the women are hypocrites. On both sides, the hustlers are the ones with the microphones. The hustlers are the ones that are leading the people astray. You understand? Now, yesterday, I pretty much talked about that video that's above with the gentleman with the polo shirt on, where he was given 10 keys or whatever the case is in terms of why men categorize women as being for the streets. Now, that man was influenced by not only Kevin Samuels, He was also influenced by me. He was also influenced by many other brothers in these spaces. I know that. You know what I mean? That's why I can talk boldly, because I could just look at these guys and just know that they're all gimmicks, in my opinion. You know what I mean? They're not real content creators. They're called regurgitators. They just say whatever hits. They just say whatever will get the view, because that's how they get the numbers. You gotta pander towards a particular group. It's either you're pandering towards the women or you're pandering towards the men. You gotta pick your side. Now, whichever side you pick will determine whether you sold your soul or not. There is such thing as selling your soul on YouTube. The way you sell your soul on YouTube is you got to compromise. You have to ignore all your values, morals, and ethics. And you got to now appease to a particular audience, even though it goes against your very nature. So in other words, if I'm a family man, right? Let's say I'm a family man, and I am a family man for real. But let's just say if I'm a family man, but I'm trying to pay these bills, but I'm not getting no views. So the way I would compromise is I would just focusing on bashing women all day, rather than being about content that is family orientated that can help improve male and female relationships. Instead, I would focus on just bashing women, because I know that'll attract a male audience so that I can pay these bills. You see how that work? So now what happens? My content really have no value, because all I'm doing is attracting losers, men that hate women, men that masturbate all day. Why are men so upset with women? Because they're masturbating all day. Every time you as a man have to masturbate, you get upset more, because you're just losing all your energy. Every time you release, you're losing all your energy. That's the energy that you should be in the gym with. That's the energy you should be focusing on your business with. That's the energy you're supposed to be focusing on getting your money with. But instead, you're busy masturbating to photos and images and videos. And the more you do that, you feel like a loser, because you're like, damn, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not pulling women. I'm not having sex, but you releasing yourself every single night. But you watch women bash channels all day, and you still not pulling no woman. You know why? Because the more you masturbate, the more you become weak. The more you masturbate, the more you desensitize yourself to the feel and the touch of a real woman. So now you're in a relationship with yourself. So now you got to the point where you began to live without a woman, and now you just hate women. Why? Because you've been listening to these bash channels all day. So now every time you hear about a new video, you jump up. You're like, yeah, bro, you speaking the truth. Yeah, bro, I can't stand these women, man, for real. And it's because you hate women. Why? Because you're not getting no woman. Because again, if I was to introduce you to a good woman, you would not be watching none of these channels. If you had a sister that was home giving you head every single night, if you had a woman that was home that was cooking good meals for you every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, bro, you would not be watching none of these channels that talk about how horrible women are. You know why? Because you got a woman. So men that frequent these channels, men that congregate in the comments, are typically men that have no woman. Just like when you go to a female channel and all she do is bash men all day. If you go to these women houses, 99.9% of the times, there's no husband in that house. No husband. You understand? No husband. They're not cooking. They're not doing nothing for no man. You see? And then you got the hustler channels where you got people that might be married. And what they do is they hustle the people. Now, you would think if a Shira 7 is married, have a good husband, and all this other junk, you would think that her morals and values would be intact. But no, she's not really married. She's just a woman who got a sugar daddy, and she was with that sugar daddy from when she was younger. See, all of y'all fall for the hustle. All of y'all fell for the okie doke. And that's how she's able to hustle the people. She could never change her content. No matter how old she get, no matter how much her looks fade, she have to continue to talk about the same thing for the rest of her natural life. Because the minute she do, if she change, she'll lose her audience and nobody would watch her videos. And that is how it is on women bashing channels with men. If you look at the males who frequent these channels, they typically don't attract women. We're talking about men that have no confidence, men that will never approach a woman, men that are not going out on no dates, men that are not intimate with women. Some of these guys that watch these platforms haven't even smelled a woman vagina in like 10 years. It's just really, really bad. And that's how it is. Even the very content creators that publish the videos, they don't get women at all. None of them. It's all one big gimmick in order to get the check. So now, I want to do something real quick because I told you guys that I wanted to review this video again so that we could break it down. We want to break down this video again because what I'm trying to show you, brothers, is the importance of getting yourself right. A lot of you men have to become mature men. When you come to this platform, Ringo TV Reactions, we're raising up men. We're not raising up boys. We're not raising up dudes that hate women. We're not raising up guys that can't get women. We're not raising up men that are not focusing on their career, their health. We got to focus on what's important as men. Number one, women shouldn't even be on your mind like that. Number one, your health is supposed to be on your mind, not what woman you trying to smash. You understand? When you get up in the morning, we got work to do as men. When you get up in the morning, don't you got to head out to work? So the first thing that's supposed to be on your mind as a man is you got to head out to work because you got bills to pay. That's number one. Number two, we got to focus on our health. We got to get our mind right with our health. We have to have a connection to the Creator. So spiritually, we got to be on point because if we're not, we're going to be just like all these other heathen men out here, just trying to see what woman they could sleep with. And that's the problem. Our priorities are all wrong. We're allowing these male content creators to make us focus on women all day rather than focusing on our spiritual health, our physical health, our financial health. Those are the things that we need to be focusing on. But they're not going to talk about that because that's not going to bring the views. That's not going to bring the money in. You're not going to get the checks that way. You get the checks by bashing women. Remember, in the hip hop game, the way you get success in hip hop is you got to be a gangster. You can't talk about anything positive. So likewise on YouTube, in order to be successful, in order to get the numbers, in order to get the views and the checks, you got to be negative. You got to focus on content that bash men. You got to focus on content that bash women. You got to focus on that all day. We're not talking about once in a while where you talk about a problem, because on my channel, there are women that'll say, I'm bashing women. And then there are men that'll say, I'm doing this and I'm against the brothers. Well, that's because they just don't want to hear the truth. But what I'm talking about are channels that predominantly focus on bashing women all day. I'm talking about every time they go live, every time they post a video, it is never about anything that improves your relationship. It is predominantly women shaming all day. And I'm trying to figure this out, guys. How much times do you want to hear the same thing? Why are you even focused on women that are in the streets in the first place? Why are we even entertaining women that are in the streets? Why do we even talk about them? It's a waste of time. Shouldn't you guys be focusing on quality women? Have you ever noticed why the content creators never focus on quality women? They never focus on where to meet good women. They never focus on none of those type of things. You know why? It's not entertaining. It's not gonna make money. They got to focus on the things you care about. And what do most men care about? 304s. Because those are the women you sleep with. And you're just upset because you're unable to get the woman you want. The reason why a lot of men are attracted to female bashing channels is because these men are upset that they can't sleep with the woman they truly want. So because of that, they flock to these angry channels where men hate women, because that's what it really is, guys. I don't see how listen, I cannot get up every morning to go to a channel to hear a ninja talk about how women are trash. I can't listen to that mess all day. I got to make some money. I got to get my health right. And I'm only interested in quality women. That's all I'm interested. I don't give a damn about no damn 304. I'm not trying to get with a 304. I'm not trying to convert a 304 into a housewife. I'm not trying to do none of that mess. So I'm not interested in that. But that's what men typically will spread so that the young men are able to gravitate towards the content. And that's how they keep the bread coming in. Now, let's review this tape. Let's review this tape so that we can see what this guy is talking about. We talked about it yesterday, but I want to break it down thoroughly. And I pretty much downloaded this guy's entire channel. I'm going to review all his videos. You know what I mean? Because what I'm going to show you is how these content creators literally switch up. It's like 1 minute they saying one thing, and then next minute they do another thing. Now, before we begin, somebody in one of his comments under that video said, "Brother, I don't know what caused the turn. Over the last couple of months, you've been killing it." Now, when he says killing it, he been speaking what these so-called weak beta male simps are into. When a man said you've been killing it, typically these are men that don't attract women. These are men that beat their meat all day, men that don't attract women, men that are not financially as successful as you would think. Because I'm going to tell you, when a man is focusing on female bashing channels, his money is not right, his health is not right, and his sex life is not right. Typically, all areas of his life is not right. Why? Because he's spending too much time focusing on women when he's supposed to be focusing on getting his life right. If I focus on women all day, I can't excel as a man. So now look at what the brother came back and says. He says, basically he sat in on some Zoom calls with the fellas, took time out to tell me where I was losing them and where I was gaining them. So I finally understand who my audience is and where the problem come from. Now, translation, what is he saying? He contacted these so-called black male YouTubers and was getting what they call consultations. These channels where men be like, contact me for advice on how to grow your YouTube channel. Contact me so I can give you information on how to improve as a content creator. So what this guy did in his desperation is he contacted one of these content creators. Trust me, when I tell you guys, my commentary is 100% accurate. And if this gentleman is listening, he know I'm telling the truth. He contacted one of these black male YouTubers for advice on how to improve his content in order to better himself. And they told him exactly what he needed to do. You got to focus on bashing women more. You got to focus on that. Your male audience don't want to hear you talk about, how to have marriages and relationships. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear you bash women. So you got to improve on that. You got to get right to the point. You got to say all the key words that men love to hear. Just like with women, you know how to run game on women. Well, same thing with men. Men run game on men too. A lot of you men are weak, and a man can literally manipulate you through words too. It's not just women being manipulated. You got men that manipulate men because men are weak. So he basically said he sat in on some Zoom calls. Now, how could you sat in on a Zoom call? Those are consultation calls. Those are calls that he contacted someone for advice. So he sat in on the Zoom calls, and the fellas took time out to tell me where I was losing them, which means his content was going in a different direction and it was losing the brothers. So how do you regain the brothers? You got to bash women. You see that? You got to bash women. So once he understood who his audience was, he knew how to fix the problem. And then the same guy come back and says, keep going, brother. You are delivering a lot of value. I wish you nothing but success. You see how that goes? Now, where's the success coming from? If men are not getting into relationships, if men are not getting married, if men are not having valuable women come into their lives, where's the real success? The success is him getting a check. And there's nothing wrong with making money. The problem is these are all hustlers. Once you understand the hustle of social media, you're able to do what needs to be done to navigate on these YouTube streets so that you can find the right kind of channels to frequent. Because the last thing I want to do is lead any of you viewers astray by hustling you. I don't got time for that. I don't got time to lie. I don't got time to manipulate. I'm 100% authentic. Because when you're hustling the people, you get millions of views. You get hundreds of thousands of views when you go live automatically. You'll have 5,000 people watching. You know why? Because you're hustling the people. You're telling the people exactly what they want to hear. When you're giving people the truth, normally you don't get that type of support. You don't get all the love. It's like slow. Very, very slow. Think about this. 126 people viewing, only 51 likes. This is what I'm talking about. You don't get the love that you would like. They never show you love. But if I'm bashing women, I'll get all the love because most of the men that are viewing are weak men. Most of the men that are viewing don't have a woman. You understand? Most of these guys never touched a vagina in like the last 5-10 years. They don't even know what a vagina feel like. They haven't even kissed a woman. These guys don't get women. Do you understand me? That's why they frequent these channels. They're hungry. They're thirsty. Look, bruh, if you are whacking off every night, it's because you don't got a woman. Because if you got a woman, all you got to do is just call your woman in and get it in. But if you got to whack off every other night, it's because you don't got a woman. So you're weakening yourself every time you whack off. And that's just the truth. You know? Now, somebody else came in that comments and they said, all women need this video and take it to heart. Now, the question you have to ask is this. Why would that person say it's all women need this video? His video wasn't directed to women. It was directed to entertain men. He was talking about why women are identified or categorized as being for the streets. My question is, you can't turn a HOE to a housewife. So exactly what's the purpose of the content? Everybody know if a woman is in the streets, you can never turn her into a housewife. And I wouldn't want her anyway. Why would I want to get with a woman that had 25 different D's in her mouth unloading their package? Why would I want that woman as my wife? Why would I want to kiss a woman that I know slept with 100 men? Why would I want her? Do you see my point? So what exactly is the content for? To entertain weak men. That's what it's for. So now let's get into the content. Let's break all of this stuff down. Now, again, if you're a black man and you want to elevate yourself, you got to listen carefully. Because if all you love is listening to bashing channels for women, just bashing women all day, it just proves what kind of man you are. You're not a man. You're weak. You're a weak, spineless man that most likely got a lot of drama and problems going on in your life. Why? Because these content creators keep you dumbed down. And they know how to keep you dumbed down because they keep you listening to a bunch of toxic poison all day. How can you be a strong, powerful man in today's day if all you worry about is women all day? Well, you know, these women ain't no this and these women, man, these women. Listen, I can understand there's some entertainment and value in some of these type of videos. But at the end of the day, if you don't got a woman in your life that you're building with right now, you ain't saying nothing, bro. You ain't saying a damn thing. Because all you're doing is just playing games all day. Absolutely playing games. So now let's get into this content. Let's find out what he got to say. Let's go.
Not play dumb. When a man says she's for the streets, he ain't talking about a location. He's talking about your lifestyle, mindset, and history. Your damn resume. And I know you hate the label, but instead of crying about it, let's unpack why men are unable to look at you and see anything more than a cum dumpster.
Now, again, what kind of women is this man talking about? Is he talking about a quality woman? No. Is he talking about a decent church-going woman that is chaste, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost? No. Is he talking about a woman who just go to the 9 to 5, go home, and just stay out of the way? No. Is he talking about a good woman? No. Is he talking about a woman who is not out there getting her back blown out every night? Nope. He's not talking about her. So why is he talking about women that are out there doing dirt? And why would a man want that woman? Why isn't he talking about the good women? Why isn't he talking about the women that are not doing those things? Because it's a hustle. And this is a part of the hustle in the game a lot of people don't understand with social media. Let's get back to the tape.
Today, I'm giving you 10 reasons why men size you up fast.
Why would he be concerned about talking about 10 reasons why men will size you up? So he's talking to 304s. He's not talking to good women. So he's trying, what is his goal? What is his end goal? Is his goal to try to convert 304s into housewives? Because if you brothers are really paying attention, you should ask him that question. Brother man, are you trying to tell me that your content is designed to try to convert 304s into housewives for us? You got to ask him that. When you listen to that kind of toxic poison, you got to ask him, bro, are you speaking to 304s because you're trying to get these women prepared for us? Or are you just bashing them for our entertainment? Because as a grown man, you got to recognize when you're getting played. See, when you come to Ringo TV Reactions, I'm going to break down all of these videos and show you how you getting played.
And categorize you for what you really are. This ain't to shame you.
It is to shame them. What else? What other reason is it for? See, again, he said it's not to shame you. Then what is it for? What is it for? If you're bashing women, it is to shame them. That's what it's for. That's how you're telling them what's wrong because you're trying to bring about shame, because shame is what's missing in the black community. That's why 304s do what they do, because there's no shame. Nobody's shaming them for what they do. So don't say it's not to shame when it is to shame.
It's to wake you up before your looks expire.
Notice that. He said it's to wake you up before your looks expire. So how do men see these women? They only see them based on their looks. Why? Because they just want to use them sexually. That's it. Just to use them sexually.
And categorize you for what you really are. This ain't to shame you. It's to wake you up before your looks expire and your future turns into therapy sessions and wine bottles.
Therapy session and wine bottles. Now, what was Kevin Samuels talking about by telling the women, are you getting therapy? So what do you think he's regurgitating? Therapy. Same thing. He's just another Kevin Samuels. Another Kevin Samuels wannabe. I seen these types all the time, guys. You know what I mean? Like I said, he has a video a year ago, rejected for years, how style transformed my life. In other words, him putting on a suit transformed his life. Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it. How and where to apply cologne. Stop it. Nobody don't want to hear that garbage. That's why none of that stuff was getting no views. Nobody cares about that. What they care about is bashing women. That's what most weak men are concerned with. And when you're a man and you convert your entire channel into bashing women to please men, we already know who you are. And I can't take you serious. You know what I mean? I already know this dude's entire MO. It's very easy to pinpoint. A lot of you younger guys, you don't know any better. Now, proof of this is in the put in here. Let me show you this real quick. This particular comment that's on the screen right now is under my video that I made last night when I reacted to his video. Somebody came in and says, he's speaking straight facts, Ringo. Give him his props. Do you see what I mean about how these guys are manipulated? He's not speaking straight facts. He's regurgitating talking points that he got from many other men, and he's using all of that in order to attract your dumbass. And you're telling me to give him props off of stuff that I've already said 1,000 times years ago. None of that stuff work. That's called bashing. If you're not trying to elevate the community and all you're focusing on is the negativity, you're not helping nobody. You're entertained by what he said. And I guarantee you, if you was to go to ask this very same guy who said he's speaking facts, Ringo, do you got a wife? I guarantee you he don't. He don't have a wife. You know? Now, Calvin came in and says, as a youngin', no one is making a reborn 304 a wife or a single mom a wife, respectfully. He probably making these videos because it's what pays the bills. It is what it is. I mean, could you believe what he just wrote, guys? And notice what the other person said. You clearly are new to the content. How old are you? You see how that is? Calvin is a youngin'. Calvin is a youngin', a young, naive clown. Notice what he said. As a youngin', no one is making a reborn 304 a wife. So he know that you can't turn a 304 into a wife. He says no one is pretty much trying to wife up a single mom. He says probably he's making these videos because it's what pays the bills. It is what it is. So that's called fake content. He's not making content then that's elevating the community. He's not making content that's making you men better men. He's just making content that pays the bills. Do you see that? So why would you be entertaining content that is just to pay the bills rather than content that's elevating you as men to make you better men so that you can go out there in the world and win? Because again, I've been on for 54 minutes thus far. This video only have 478 views, only 64 likes. There's 133 people viewing. You tell me, do people really want the truth or do people want to be entertained? I'm beginning to think that the majority of the audience are just literally insane because I realize that people don't want truth. They don't want to elevate themselves. They like being entertained. They love to see men bash women. You understand? Men flock to male channels to hear them go in bashing women. They love it. They get turned on by it. Women go to women channels to hear the women bash men. They're entertained by it. And the process, all of us are single, miserable, childless, lonely, and masturbate every damn night. What a sick existence for a people. And you're wondering why the black community can't grow. You're wondering why we can't thrive. You're wondering why. And you're wondering why we're all getting older and remaining miserable. You're wondering why. Right? Now, let's get back to the content.
So let's begin. Number one, you got too many bodies.
And if you hear any noise or vocals in the background, it's because the dude don't know how to make videos. He have videos with all this audio and music playing in the background, really dumb and stupid. You know what I mean? So I tried to use some AI software to remove the track, but it left the vocals. If it removed the vocals, it'll remove his too. But let's get back at the tapes.
Or your looks expire and your future turns into therapy sessions and wine bottles. So let's begin. Number one, you got too many bodies to be anybody's wife. We ain't talking about preferences.
If she got too many bodies to be anybody's wife, why are you even talking about it? And why are we focused on women that got too many bodies? Shouldn't we be focusing on the women that have no bodies? See, the truth of the matter, ladies, is this. Keep your legs closed because most of these guys, they don't care if you got a lot of bodies or if you have less bodies. They're just trying to turn you into a single mother. Because if the truth be told, the majority of men today are not husband material. They were never trained to be husbands. The same way men love to talk about how women were not trained to be wives. Show me any of these men that were trained to be a damn husband. Show me that. They don't know the first thing about being a husband, but they're quick to bash you and tell you you were never trained to be a wife. Let's go.
We're talking about the number of men who gave you back shots, deep throats, and cream pies. And when I say cream pies, we're not talking about Little Debbie's.
So he's trying to add in little jokes because that's entertaining for the weak beta males. Beta males love the jokes. They love the little sidebars. They love all of that entertainment stuff. And in the process, their pockets get filled with money and you remain miserable.
You can lie to your homegirls. You can downplay your past. But when a man of value meets you,
how could you be a man of value and you're not marrying none of the women you're sleeping with? What makes you so much a man of value? Because you have a job? Because you go to a 9-to-5 that makes you a man of value? None of these men are valuable. They call themselves valuable because they've been listening to Kevin Samuels talking all this nonsense about high value man. Well, where did that get him? It got him dead because he was in a damn apartment with a woman that nobody don't know nothing about. There was no investigation and she most likely killed him. You see how that worked? And he dead. With all that high value nonsense, he dead. So the value did not keep him alive. So make that come to reality and recognize that the high value popular guy died in his own home with a woman. Think about how that looked. Keep listening to that garbage about high value this and high value that. You ain't shit. without the Most High, if you don't got the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in your life, if you have not repented of your sins, you ain't shit. I don't want to hear nothing about value if you ain't repent of your sins. You're just a damn filthy rag and a sinner.
He could sense the mileage. Your emotional depth is gone. Your intimacy is disconnected. And your walls aren't holding up tight enough.
Well, think about how many walls of women you screwed. Think about how many women you laid up with. Have you married them? No. So my question to all the men that would entertain that, my question is, are you having sex with women right now? Are you currently looking for women to lay up with? Because to be honest, most of you guys are looking for the easiest woman to lay up with. So how could you entertain that kind of content if you're a good man? Good men do not entertain female bashing content. You don't. You're not entertained by that. Why? Because those kind of women you're not attracted to those women. If you really think about it, the majority of men want a loose woman. They want a woman who is loose, a woman who's a 304, a woman who is easy to screw. They don't want a woman that's going to make it difficult to screw. So I don't know what the heck these guys are talking about, because at the end of the day, they want the easiest possible way to sleep with a woman.
You're loose and loud. Let me make this plain. Every man you let smash took something from you.
Yeah, just like you took from women. How many women have you screwed and took from them and didn't make them a wife? This is the problem that I got with you hypocrite guys, man. You guys will talk the most about how women are this and how they're this and that, promiscuous, all this other junk. But what about the amount of women you slept with and never married? What about that? So it's okay for you to sleep around with all these women, not marry them, right? But then you complain about how they're sleeping around, but yet us men are sleeping with these women. But you don't got nothing to say about us brothers. You don't tell brothers, hey, guys, stop sleeping with these women. Guys, keep it in your pants. Guys, practice abstinence. Guys, practice. You don't tell these guys to do that. So the men are still out there currently trying to sleep with women while the women are being bashed. Make that make sense.
And now you're mad because the men you actually want are treating you like a rental.
Think about that. He's saying that the men are treating them like a rental, the men that you actually want. Why is he focused on 304s? Since when has quality, high-value men focus on women that are streetwalkers? Think about this. When Kevin Samuels was doing his thing, all of the women that he had on his platform all had problems. Baggage, kids, body counts. There was no good women that was on his show. He focused primarily on women that had issues. That's what made the show entertaining. When he would go in on the women and it would make everybody laugh. But in the process, was anybody getting helped? Were women getting married? No. Were men getting married? No. Nobody got married. Nobody been successful. No relationships came out of it. No one was saved because it was just a minstrel show of bashing women. And it made him a lot of money. But guess what? He didn't live to actually benefit from the money. And a lot of content creators are trying to follow that same footstep. So what they do is they try to transform themselves and try to cater to the men, pander to the men. But are you men creating families? Are you developing? Are you growing with a woman? No. It just makes you hate women even more.
You let the whole hood joyride and then cry when the next man won't buy the car. Number 2, you compare every new man to the last dude that smashed.
All of us brothers already done said this. None of this stuff is new. I've been saying this for years, that anytime you get into a relationship with a woman that been out there, she's going to always compare you to the next man. And this is what causes her to remain single, because she's unable to pair bond. Because why? Anytime she get with a new man, she's going to compare you to the old man. And it's like, if you don't measure up to this or that, then she's going to get bored and she's going to leave. I talked about this 1,000 times. None of this stuff, listen, there is nothing that this dude says on his channel that is new. Everything is regurgitated. Everything is something that another brother done said. That's why I'm not impressed with none of these guys that want to talk about women. I'm not impressed with none of you dudes, bro. Like y'all say things that we been said years ago. And The thing about it is the youngins that watch y'all platforms, they be thinking that y'all really doing some sort of work. And the thing is, you're not. You're not saying nothing that brothers have not already done talked about. The issue I got is that it's a one-sided event of hustling the people. It's no different than the pulpit pimping pastor that just pimping the people, telling the people what they want to hear in order to get a check. That's all it is.
He ain't romantic enough. He ain't aggressive enough. He ain't tough like Tyrone. He ain't soft like Brandon. He don't hit it like Trey hit it. Newsflash. This man ain't competing with your sexual past.
So you want to compete for a 304? See, I'm talking to the gentleman that is in that video. When you make this kind of content, are you really trying to help a 304? Or is your goal in life to get a woman that have a high body count and you trying to convert her into a wife that's cooperative? Is that what your goal is? Why haven't you just consulted a quality woman in and of itself? Like, what's the point of categorizing all women as if though they're for the streets? Whatever happened to bringing on a quality woman? Where are your guests of quality women that come to your show that are quality women, that are wife material? Where are those women for you to interview? Again, there are none because you don't attract them. Women are not really attracted to your show. Women won't go to your show because they already know what kind of male you are. They already know exactly what the hustle is. See, women can see the hustle just like men can see the hustle on female channels that bash men. We could see the hustle. We could see when women pander to men in order to get a super chat, a check, or whatever the case is. And there's nothing wrong with support. The point is, you have a lot of channels that predominantly focus on pandering towards a particular group in order to get their support. And they do this in order to pay their bills. They can never deviate from the plan. If they do, they'll lose their audience.
He's not going to align with your trauma. If you can't enter a relationship free from your past with a clear mindset, you're still mentally in the streets, even if your body's sitting in his living room.
So you're basically suggesting that a woman who's a 304, if she forget about her past, are you telling me she got a chance in a good relationship? Is that what you're saying? Because we all know you can't turn a HOE into a housewife. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that principle. You cannot change a 304 into a housewife. That is crazy. So is that what you're saying? Are you really trying to rehabilitate 304s? Because again, the youngin that was on my platform in the comment section, that particular person said, as a youngin, no one is making a reborn 304 a wife or a single mom a wife, respectfully. So these youngins that watch your platform, they're not trying to wife up a single mom, nor are they trying to wife up a 304. But those very same youngins will sleep with them. And this is the hypocrisy of you men. You will fuck the 304. You will fuck the single mom. You will. All of you guys would. All you hypocrite men will lay up with a single mom if she look good. You will sleep with her. You will. So my question is, if she's for the streets, if she's, not worthy of anything, why you want to sleep with her? So obviously there's some value in her, and that value is her vagina. You want to sleep with her. Just own it. Just own it. You're a hypocrite. You want to sleep with a 304. You love them. So don't act like you don't like them. Don't act like they're just this horrible individual. You want to sleep with them. All 304s are highly sought after by you men. You love them. What man don't like a loose woman? What man don't want to get with a woman that want to top him off the first day he met her? These guys are fake, man. They know good and well that that's the sought after woman. These guys are not looking for good women. These guys are not walking around saying, man, I just can't wait to find me a good woman that's going to save her body for marriage. Nope. You want a woman to sleep with. Y'all know good and well that that's the whole purpose of you even taking a woman on a date is because you want to sleep with her. So if she's holding out, you're going to get frustrated and be like, damn, fam, I took you on a date. I can't sleep with you. You bugging, fam. I'm out of here, man. I can't deal with this mess. You not giving it up? I'm out.
No man wants his value to be measured using the performance of your previous partners. Number 3, your current children were created from recreational use.
Notice recreational use. Who created that talking point? Who created the talking point recreational use? That's my talking point. I'm the one who created the term recreational use. And the purpose for that talking point was for women that us brothers try to seek out. Let's say I try to holler at this particular woman and I'm trying to make her my woman, right? But she don't want to be my woman. She just want me to be around to lay pipe. Okay, she's for recreational use. You see how that works? She's for recreational use because I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to get with her to be my woman. I want to make her a wife. I'm really trying to go to the next level, but she don't want that. She just want me to be in her life to lay pipe. So at that point, I'm still a man. I got needs. So she's going to be for recreational use. I wasn't trying to take advantage of her. I wasn't trying to use her for sex. No, I really wanted to get to know her on some serious ish. But she decided she don't want a relationship. She just want to play. So at that point, she's recreational use. That's my talking point. That's where he got it from. Trust and believe that, fam. And this is why I don't respect these dudes in these YouTube streets, because they're all fake, man. That's why when I make my content, I always expose their hustle. And then once I expose their hustle, when you go back and you look at their channels, you'll begin to see the hustle at play. And you'll be able to pinpoint that this person is not real, fam. They're not real at all.
Your current children were created from recreational use. Promiscuity. You weren't covered. You weren't married.
Okay, so what about the guys who laid with them? How come you're not addressing those men? See, this is the hypocrisy. You're focusing on bashing the woman, but you're not talking about the men that were laying pipe. You're not focusing on the men that they were sleeping with. What about the man? What about the man who was laying up with her and didn't choose to take her as a wife? What about that? All of a sudden now, nobody want to talk about it. All of a sudden now, we want to ignore the men that made the choice to lay up with that woman. He's a good guy.
You weren't intentional.
It's like if men are putting all of the responsibility on women to decide. It's like, man, what men are doing today, and what's so sad about this is what men are doing, ladies, is this. They're taking no accountability in the fact that they chose to sleep with you. We understand that you're the gatekeeper as a woman. No man could get in your body unless you allow it. But what men are doing is they're saying, we're not responsible. We're just doing what we got to do. You're responsible. So they're blaming you, even though they made the choice to sleep with you. They didn't have to. As a man, I don't got to sleep with a woman. I could literally say, you know what? I don't want to sleep with you. I could just say that. So how come men aren't doing that? How come men just don't say, I'm not sleeping with you because you're for the streets? I want a wife. No, men are sleeping with you because they want sex. They want sex and they're going to go ahead with it. So why is it that women are getting bashed and the men are not getting bashed for their choice of sleeping with a woman by taking advantage of her in her weakness? Because if she's not making the right decisions, if we men are more logical, why aren't we making better decisions? Why aren't we saying, nah, sister, I don't want to sleep with you. Nah, sister, you don't got to give me no head. I really want it, but at the same time, I don't want to take advantage of you because I know you're making these bad decisions. I want you to be my wife before you give me head. How come men aren't doing that? Because we're hypocrites. We men are hypocrites. We just want to fuck. Let's just call it what it is, guys. Stop being a damn hypocrite. Grow up and be mature. You want to smash, period. So you get to smash and do what you want to do, and then you blame the woman and bash her. And see, all of the women bashing started, and even in the Bible. In the Garden of Eden, the first form of women bashing started when Adam took of the fruit. When Eve came and brought Adam the fruit, and then they recognized they were naked, what did Adam say? The woman that you gave me, God, she did give us me to eat. He started to bash the woman right away. He didn't take no accountability for what he did. Remember, God told him to guard the garden. God told him to guard the garden. So how come Adam didn't inquire with Eve, where did you get this fruit from? Did you get this fruit from the tree God told us not to eat of? Yeah, I did. Well, then we can't eat of it. No, Adam took of the fruit because Eve said, hey, the devil told me that in the day we eat this, we'll be as gods, knowing good and evil. And Adam took of that damn fruit. Listen to the woman. Just like you guys today are using these women for what you can get, and then you blame them. And that's exactly what's going on right now.
You were fun. Now you're mad. Because the fun came with a lifetime of responsibility. Let's keep it a buck. You had a kid with the dude that had the best pipe, not your best interest.
Even that term pipe, that's my talking point. I brought that into these YouTube streets. Laying pipe, doing this, that, everybody's saying it now. All my talking points.
You laid down with a pookie and woke up with a car seat and court papers.
You see what he mean? She laid down with a pookie. Okay, why you, sir, are not talking about the pookie? Why you're not holding the man accountable? Because it's not entertaining to hold men accountable because your male audience won't appreciate that because they're all pookies. Notice what he said. She laid down with a pookie. Okay, why don't we fix the problem? Let's talk about the pookies. No, we're not, because that would make the male viewers upset with us. So let's not talk about them.
Let's keep it a buck. You had a kid with the dude that had the best pipe, not your best interest. You laid down with a pookie and woke up with a car seat and court papers.
Okay, court papers. So what do we see in the black community? Nothing but single motherhood, child support, men complaining about how women are taking advantage of them in the courts. Look at all the men that be in the comment sections crying about how they're on child support. If you're a man and you're on child support, you deserve it. You know why? Because you were out there doing dirt. That's your karma, ninja. Your karma is child support. That woman taking all your money is your judgment. Own it. Don't cry to me. You weren't crying when you had her legs in the air. You weren't crying when you was hitting it from the back. You weren't crying when she was topping you off. You were having a good time. You see how that worked? But you didn't decide to make her your wife. So she decided to go take your ass to court. Now you want to cry. Make it make sense.
And now you want the next man to move liability into his house.
Notice that, move liability into his house, meaning take care of another man's kids. Haven't we talked about that 1,000 times on the channel? So that's nothing new.
And pretend you're saved because you're a part of Bible study club.
Meaning you're a Christian woman. You turn your life around. You came to Jesus, repented of your sins, but you're a single mother. And what he's basically trying to do is shame you that there's no hope for you. That's basically what he just did right there. In other words, you came to Jesus Christ, you repented of your sins, but so happened you had a bad relationship. And he's basically saying there's no hope for you because you're wanting a man to come in to take care of your kids. So he's basically shaming women that tried to get their life right.
No, ma'am. You don't get to welcome into the world the bloodline of degenerates.
Now he called your children degenerates. You see how he just did that? Now you could be a good woman that may have lost a husband to a death. You may be a woman who got into a relationship with a man thinking it was going to go somewhere. And for whatever reason, he did not cooperate in the relationship. And therefore, the relationship severed, but you had kids with him. So now what this gentleman is doing is calling your children degenerates. That's disrespectful. You see how that works? So he's bashing you. That's what he's doing. He's not helping the community. He's not helping, and he's not categorizing women based on who's who. Yes, we know there are 304s. We know there are HOEs in the world. But what about the good women that got into relationships with the intentions on really having a real relationship? But for whatever reason, they made the wrong choice with the wrong man. And now they learned their lesson. What about those women? There are single mothers out there that are actually good women, guys. There are women out there that had children with one guy, and for whatever reason, that relationship went south. She's not a bad woman, just that she have kids. It is what it is, but he's calling those kids degenerates. So he's disrespecting those kids. Why? Because he's not interested in the kids. He just want to smash. Let's just keep it a buck. That man right there do not care about none of these women. He's just trying to get his rocks off. Just like the majority of men that watch the platform, they're only interested in getting their rocks off. They do not care about nothing else.
and ask another man to raise them as their own. Number 4, you think submission is a transaction, not a requirement. You got to twist it. Submission ain't negotiable. It ain't earned, it ain't situational. It's divine.
Now he's talking about submission is divine. But are men submitting to women? Even the Bible says that both the man and the woman are supposed to submit one towards another as unto the Lord. But a lot of times as men, we always focus on women needing to submit to us. That's not true. Men are also to submit to women. There are times where you got to do things for the woman as well as she do things to you. But what do these men do? They only focus on submission as if though the woman is supposed to just bow down and do whatever for the man. And they never talk about what the man is supposed to do for the woman. That's a problem.
But modern women treat submission like, if he makes 6 figures and buys me this and takes me there, then I'll submit.
That's a lie, because women do not submit to men just because they got money. There's a lot of men that have money and women get divorces from. So what you said is incorrect. There's a lot more divorces happening with men that got a lot of money. And these men end up losing all their money. So all that nonsense about, oh, women will submit to a man if he got money is a damn lie. Because we saw multiple men lose their money. Tyrese had money. Well, how come his relationship didn't work? How come? Dr. Dre had money. How come his marriage didn't work? Come on now. What's going on? Russell Simmons had money. How come his relationships didn't work? We could go on and on and on. There's so many different men that have been taken for a ride by women and they got money. But the women wanted a divorce. So women are not going to submit to you just because you're a multimillionaire. So if you're a man and you think because you got money that it's going to automatically make a woman bow down to you, think again. That's a damn lie. And this is why all that high value bullshit that Kevin Samuels was talking about is a joke. That's why I always came against that garbage, because I recognize that women do not submit to you just because you got money. Women will submit to a man that is a man. And it doesn't matter if you got money or not. A woman will submit to a man even if he's broke, if she like him. If a woman like you for you, she's submitting to you no matter what. You understand what I'm saying?
You're not submitting to a man's order. You're submitting to Amazon orders, designer bags, early retirements, and the ability to go brag to your friend groups on how you made a man submit to the lifestyle you wanted. That's called materialism, not marriage.
But men spend money on women because they want sex. Men take women on dates because they want to smash. Men buy women gifts. What about all the men flying women out? You're not talking about that. Where's the balance? See, on my platform, I do balance reporting, balance content. It's not the most popular, but it's accurate and it's the truth. And over time, I get a return due to the content resonating with the right people, which helps me to build the right kind of audience. I don't want an audience of a bunch of ninjas that hate women, and I don't want an audience of a bunch of women that hate men. What I want is a balanced audience of men and women that actually want to be successful at life. That's what I'm into.
Let me make this plain. You're not a wife if submission is contingent upon a brand or account balance. You're a liability waiting for a man to buy excess just to argue with you about your tone later. Men don't submit to ultimatums. They walk away. Number 5. You are not authentic. Everything about you is bought and surgically attached. Your body, fake. Your lashes, fake. Your lips, injected. Your hair, imported.
You see what he's doing? He's saying everything about these women are fake and blah, blah, blah. Now, again, we know there's women out here that wear weave, lashes. We talk about these things in the videos. But all of this is called bashing. That's all that is. That's not helping none of these ladies. It's not going to get their attention to like you, change, none of that. They're just not going to like you. And they know what kind of guy you are. But on the contrary, what he's saying is entertaining for weak men. Weak men love what he's doing. They love it. They click the like button. Think about this. 165 people viewing, only 92 likes. Why? Because the rest of the folks do not like the content. They're just here. They're just here listening, trying to figure out what exactly am I talking about. Because most people really don't care for the truth. They really don't. They want to hear the bashing. That's what they want to hear. You know, then you got some women that are coming here. They trying to see Is Ringo bashing women? Is he supportive of women? You got people are literally here to see which side they're going to jump on. People are not accustomed to a channel that is balanced. They're not. When people come to YouTube, it's either you're going to a male bashing channel or a female bashing channel, and you got to pick which side. So it's very difficult when someone comes to the platform and they realize that, wow, this guy is actually balanced. This guy is not focused on bashing men or women. He's focusing on being fair and balanced, and they're not accustomed to that. So a lot of times they're like hesitant on clicking the like button because it's like, well, I like his content. I don't know, man. It's like he's talking about the brothers, but he's making a lot of damn sense, man. But these women, man, they out here doing dirt, but then he got a point. Us brothers are really trying to smash, so he really do got a point, and it's like they're confused. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to say, bro, because when you hit them with a fair, balanced commentary, it bothers them. They're confused. They don't know which side to pick.
Your attitude is the likes of a hyena. You're a highlight reel.
Now, notice he said their attitude is the likes of a hyena. Why would you call a woman a hyena? Now, you know he's getting that from various content creators, right? There's various content creators that always use the term hyena to describe black women. That's degrading. It's disrespectful. It's not right. It's not cool. You see what I mean? Would you want somebody to call your mama a hyena? Your daughter a hyena? No. So why would you address women in such language? Again, when you mature as a content creator, you understand that in this business, you got to have respect for people because they're viewing your content. That's the reason why you get a check. So you could disagree with certain things about women, but to degrade them and call them hyenas, even if a woman is a good woman and she don't refer to her as that, she's going to take offense to that because she's a woman. Women will take offense at the comment because they're women. Even if it wasn't directed to them, they're going to take offense to it. It's just not right.
For attention, but you're mad men don't treat you with intention. Look, men don't mind beauty and elegance, but they do mind deception. You're out here looking like Betty Boop, but the moment it rains, your whole identity washes away. You don't know if he's dating a woman or a painting. You want commitment? Try authenticity. Number 6.
You see all that mess he's saying? None of this stuff is 100%, guys. None of it is 100%. Now, let me show you something, guys, to give you an understanding of how my channel is versus a lot of these other so-called content creators. Let me put this on the screen for you. Let me do this real quick. Okay, here we go. Let me put this on the screen so it could give you an idea of where the platform is, right? Now, this is transparency for you. This is my channel. You see the balance? Look at this, the age and gender. Females that watch my platform, 45.3%. Males that watch my platform, 54.6%. You see the balance? That's called balance. You see the difference? If you go to that man's channel and he show you these analytics, it'll show predominantly men, probably 90%. I guarantee you. They would never show you these stats because if they do, it'll tell you exactly who their audience is. Their audience is predominantly men. That's why he said in the comments, sat in on a Zoom calls and the fellas, not the ladies, the fellas took time out to tell me where I was losing them and where I was gaining them. So I finally understand who my audience is and where the problem come from. What is the problem? Not getting views. What is the problem? Not getting the likes. So his audience is predominantly men, not women. Do you see how I'm able to uncover the hustle? Do you see how easy this is for me to do this work? My channel is a mix of men and women. You know why? Because of how I conduct business. Now, the problem with women bashing channels is they don't last. It's only for a season. Eventually, you just lose because you're not focusing on actual topics. You're focusing on just bashing women all day. And it gets boring. It gets boring because people move on in life. They start to develop and grow, and they realize they're wasting their damn time listening to you. Nobody don't want to listen to that garbage all day. You know, people got a lot of better things to be doing productively, right? So let's get back to the content.
You only respect a man if he makes more than you. So if he's building but not balling, he's broke. If he's loyal but average income, he's invisible. Let a man make six figures and say no to you. Suddenly he's toxic.
You see that? Now he just said, let a man make six figures and say no to you. Now he's toxic. But he just said a while ago that men who got money, women want to be submitted to them. See the contradiction? He just said before that men that make money, women will be submitted to them. But then he says if a man makes six figures and says no, now he's toxic. Which one is it? Make up your mind. The problem is a lot of you youngins that watch platforms like that, because I'm going to tell you, if you look at his age demographic, it also tells the tale of where and who his channel caters to. It's based on the age demographic. Now, let me pull up mine. Ladies and gentlemen, because again, I got to be transparent with you good people. I got to be transparent. I don't play games. I'm always transparent, and I keep everything 100% with you good people because I don't have no time to lie. I don't got no time to manipulate or none of that stuff. I'm going to show you the age demographic of my channel in terms of who listens and who watch. Let's do this real quick. And I'm going to show you. This is why the audience that I have is more of a mature audience. A mature crowd of people. Let me put this on the screen for you so I can show you. And I guarantee you, if this dude show you his analytics, he's talking to a bunch of damn youngins with no damn brain cells. Check this out. Check this out, fam. Now, I showed you the gender base. 54% male, 45% women. Now, check out the age base. You see this? You see how this works? Now, the majority of people that watch my channel is between the age of 35, 54. You see the percentages? People that are between 18 and 24 is only 3.4%. So that crowd don't watch my videos. They don't watch my videos. That's 3.4%. They don't watch my videos, fam. So if you think a lot of these young men are trying to prepare to get ready for life, they're not watching my platform. They're watching his platform. They're learning how to hate women. You see that? Now, the men that should already have wives should already be building between the ages of 35 and 54. They're the majority. Then you got people 55, 64. They watch the platform. You even got people that are 65 plus 10%. that watch my platform. No teenagers are really watching my platform. You see that? Because I have mature content. My content is for adults. You know what I mean? The 13 to 17, that's Kai Cenat audience. Kai Cenat is a clown. He's not adding no value to your life. He just get his money. And that's how you get paid. You get paid by entertaining people and just keeping them dumbed down. You know? So I need to make sure that you see this so that you know what's going on. I don't hide nothing from the viewers. I keep everything 100% with you. Now, let's get back to the content.
You can continue to move like this all you want. Just don't get mad when tricking continues to increase 200% during the summer. You don't respect men.
Listen. Why would tricking increase in the summer? In order for tricking to increase in the summer, that would be men are spending money to just mix mingle with women to have sex with them. So why isn't he holding men accountable for tricking off on women? Do you see how he's glorifying tricking, but he's not holding men accountable? Listen.
You want. Just don't get mad when tricking continues to increase 200% during the summer.
Why would men be spending money to trick on women if these men are so much quality and high value? Why would a high value man be tricking on women? Why? Because he's a hypocrite.
You don't respect men.
Men don't respect themselves if they're tricking on women. Why would you be spending money on a woman to get her in bed if you're a high value man? Shouldn't a woman just want to sleep with you? I keep telling you guys, listen to me very carefully, brothers. A woman, if she's really liking you, I'm talking about if a woman is feeling you, she will sleep with you regardless if you broke. Because why? She like you. When a woman like you, she likes you. There is nothing that could change. She likes you, being around you. She can't wait to get next to you, just to hold you in her arms because she likes you. Do you understand me? You don't got to spend no money, you know? Now, of course, women like nice things. Women like a guy that do certain things, but she's not spoiled. Because why? She likes you. She'll accept a gift if you buy her something. If you want to do something nice for her, every woman would. But there are some women that they'll tell you, you didn't have to buy me that. You didn't have to get me that. And you'd be like, well, I was just thinking about you, babe. You know what I'm saying? I was just thinking about you. Like, you didn't have to spend no money on this, man. Take that back. Get the money. You ain't have to spend no $1,000 on no damn, man, what are you doing? I'm not that kind of lady. That's the kind of woman that really likes you, bro.
Respect the benefits men provide. That's why you're single. That's why you can't keep a man. And that's why the men who do have options leave you on red after you confirm you made it home safe.
Now, he said the men that got options. Are these men that got options making women their wives or just sleeping with them? See, this is the hypocrisy. He's literally justifying men sleeping around with women, but he's condemning the women that are sleeping around with men. That don't make no sense. This is hypocrisy. This is what I'm trying to combat when I do my content. Now, again, my content is not going to be popular. It's not going to be getting millions of views. At the same time, you good people, when you watch it, you're going to hear the authenticity in my words. You're going to hear the value in my words, and you're going to realize that what I'm saying, though you may not agree all the time, is 100% true. Because I'm not here to pander towards men or women. I'm just stating facts. If we're going to focus on talking about women that are promiscuous, we need to also focus on men that are in the streets. Men that are tricking on women, men that are just sleeping with women just to do it. And they have no intentions on making them a wife. What about those men? We can't keep giving these men passes while degrading the women, because here's the thing. If none of you ladies are opening your legs, if all you ladies decided today to keep your legs closed, these men would be frustrated. You know why? Because there's nobody to sleep with. So the truth be told, men love 304s. These men are the biggest hypocrites on the planet. They love loose women. They love 304s. They love HOEs. They love OnlyFans models. They love corn stars. These men are dogs and hypocrites. They're hypocrites. They don't want a good woman. They never talk about a good woman. All they talk about is 304s.
Value isn't based on his income. It's based on your femininity.
You talk about femininity. What about masculinity? If these men were really men, why would they lower their values and their standards in order to please a woman? Why do these men would simp in order to get a woman's validation and attention?
Rest in it, operate in it, and empower it. And our masculinity will amplify it. Anything else you do keeps you for the streets. Number 7.
These men are acting as if though they don't deal with women in the streets. That's the problem I got, fam. When you look at this guy, do you really believe that this man is interested in decent women? No, he's interested in 304s. His goal is to sleep with a woman as soon as he meet her. What man is trying to get with a woman to wait to get in bed? No, he want to get with her as fast as possible. So when you see these guys come online acting like, oh, these women are so promiscuous, that's exactly what you want, bruh. Let's stop acting like we don't. Listen, stop acting like you don't want to get it in with a woman. You see a woman that look good from head to toe, you want to hit it the same minute, same day. So stop acting like, oh, she's a 304 and she's for the streets because she gave me head on the first day. Bro, that's exactly what you wanted, bro. So stop being a hypocrite condemning the woman, but you're not condemning yourself for your own desires. Sometimes a man and a woman will link up and her intentions was never to have sex. She wasn't even thinking about that, but the vibe was there. Everything was lit. She couldn't control herself. He couldn't control himself. And it just went to the bedroom right away. And they probably hit it off. Now they got a great relationship together. Sometimes relationships start off that way, where her intentions was not to lay up with you. Trust me, she was not thinking about that. But for whatever reason, the vibe between the two of you was so strong, she couldn't resist. She couldn't resist.
Your trauma made you masculine, and you call it strength. That's not pander. You had to grow up fast. You dealt with pain. You handled things alone. You raised yourself.
I don't know why he make his videos with all that stupid audio in the background, because it's so distracting. You can't even hear him.
Now, you move like a man.
Now you're telling women they move like a man, but you want to sleep with those very same women. Make it make sense.
You call it independent. You call it strong.
But every man want those women. What man? Listen, you guys are the biggest hypocrites, man, because all the women you follow on Instagram are 304s, but you follow them. Why? Because you like what you see. You see their bodies, you see their breasts, you see their wagon, you see everything that you like and desire. Why? Because you want to sleep with them. So own it. You love 304s. So stop acting like you righteous and stop trying to bash the woman, because the only reason why you bashing her is because you can't get her. You DM'd her and she won't respond. You try to reach out to her, but she won't respond. Why? Because she wants some money, and you're upset about that.
We know what it really is. Unhealed, unimpressionable, and uncooperative. Every time a man tries to lead you, you resist.
You talking about every time a man tried to lead you, you resist. So you're trying to lead 304s? How come you're not trying to lead a good woman? I wouldn't be surprised if this man is divorced. I wouldn't be surprised if this man got married and got a divorce. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, man. I would not be surprised, because that happens a lot with these guys. They be married one minute and then they get a divorce, or they're married and they're miserable. So they figure, you know what? Let me do this. Or they could be married and decided to bash women because that's what pays the bills. I don't know nothing about this dude. This dude probably was married already and got a damn divorce. Let's go.
Every time he tries to correct you, you push back. Every time he sets boundaries, you test him with disrespect. Your strength ain't beautiful.
Notice he said every time he do this, you test him with disrespect. Now, what does that do? That caters to men that always get disrespected by women. So what they do is they'll look at this brother as if, though, bro, you speaking the truth, bro. Bro, you the man, bro. Bro, you on point, bro. And all he's trying to do is be another Kevin Samuels. Because like I said, if you go to his platform, his oldest videos, dude was talking about how to wear cologne. Dude was talking about he was rejected for years until he learned how to style, transform his life. He even have a video, stop getting rejected by the girl you like. I mean, imagine making a video talking about stop getting rejected by the girl you like. That's simp content. You know? The truth behind overweight dating, no more lies. 5 hidden signs a girl likes you. You see what I mean? How to tie a damn tie. Are you kidding me? You know? And he made a video 2 years about Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels was his poster boy idol. That's all he's trying to do. Just mimic the Kevin Samuels. There's so many influencers on social media that's trying to mimic Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels literally died doing the things he told you brothers not to do. He told you brothers not to do certain things. He died in that very same predicament. You know, bringing a woman at his house, and he died. Make it make sense. How could the Godfather, the guy that's supposed to be giving you guys the game, end up dying in his own place of residence with a woman? Come on now. Make it make sense. That's a sign to let you guys know that you're not really as high value as you think. Your money don't make you valuable, bro. You got to be spiritually connected to God, man. You got to be spiritually connected. Did they investigate the woman that he was with? No. Did they do any thorough investigation? No. They just brushed his death under the carpet. He was murdered, bro. I told you that 1,000 times that Kevin Samuels was murdered.
It's combative. And your masculine energy is the very thing keeping you single.
Her masculine energy is keeping her single. Why do you care? Why don't you go find a woman with femininity? Why don't you go find a feminine woman? Why are you trying to convert a masculine woman? That's like me trying to go get a woman who's a lesbian or whatever and try to convert her. I'm wasting my time. If she's already acting masculine, I'm leaving her alone. I don't got time to be entertaining that mess.
Let me make it clear. Men don't want to lead a woman who thinks she's a man. It's just that simple.
So why are you guys trying to have sex with them? Why are you guys trying to lay up with women that you believe are masculine? Let's just face it, ladies. A lot of these guys will lay up with you no matter what. You could be a woman and didn't even take a damn shower. These men will still lay up with you. These men will eat your box, even if you didn't take a damn shower. That's how nasty these damn animals are. They don't care. If they're thirsty like that, they don't care. Some of you ladies know exactly what I'm talking about because you got these guys that be on your job, and some of you ladies don't raise your hand. We won't know it's you. But some of you ladies be on the job, and these guys will eat your box right on the job. You didn't even freshen up. These guys would just go to town. Sick. That's how thirsty they are. But you don't care because, hey, he thirsty. It is what it is.
Number 8. You only take leadership if it comes with money bags and traveling.
That don't make no sense because there's a lot of women that leave and divorce men that got money. So what he said makes no sense.
A lot of women don't submit to men. They submit to lifestyle packages.
No, they don't submit to lifestyle packages. A lot of men have been ran through the ringer because they wanted something else. Maybe they wanted a different man. The money don't mean nothing. I told you already, Tyrese had money. He did this. There's a lot of people that had money and they got all these divorces. And these guys have a ton of money. Ton of money. And women left and filed for divorce. So it has nothing to do with that. They just wanted a new man.
That's why you be in Dubai with a man you don't respect.
Listen, if a woman go to Dubai or whatever the case is with a man, it's because she was just chasing after money. That's not a good woman. So you're not talking to good women. You're talking to reckless women. It makes no sense. And the very type of men that are in Dubai that get those women are just getting those women for sex. That's why they pay them money. But those are the very same women you men want. Why do passport guys go overseas? Why do passport men go overseas? I said, why do passport guys go overseas? They go overseas because they want to sleep with women. They don't go overseas because they want to wife up a woman. They go overseas because they want to lay up. Just own it, man. You go overseas because you want the easiest possible woman to lay with. Just be a man and just own up to it. Stop saying you're going overseas because you want to, wife up a woman. Stop it. You guys are not trying to wife up no woman. You just want to screw. I would have more respect for you as a man if you just say, look, bro, I'm just trying to screw as many women as I can. But don't come out here acting like you righteous, like you trying to bash these women for being 304s when those are the very same women you want. What man don't want a 304? You guys really talk as if, I don't want no 304. I want me a decent woman. Bro, if a sister on your job pull up on you and say she want to give you some head right now, you ain't going to say, nah, sis, I don't want no head. I want a wife. You going to take that head, bruh. So that's all proof right there that you're not really serious about the things you're talking about.
In Cancun with a dude you clown behind his back. Or in Dior while plotting how to upgrade to Chanel. You want leadership? Cool. But let me ask you this. If he has established peace in his life, can you come in without disrupting it? If he loves the current lifestyle he lives, can you come in and maintain it?
What do you mean come in and maintain it? Why would you be asking if a 304 can come into a man's life and maintain something? Does this make any sense? Shout out to Dante for the support. Appreciate you. Says, keep telling the truth. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. He's literally asking 304s, would they come into a man's life to maintain stuff? It doesn't make no sense. You know, the purpose for that particular woman is recreational use. And I don't understand why he's not focusing on just being true. Don't bash these women that you know are there for you guys to sleep with. You want to sleep with them. The problem is 304s have upgraded their policy, which means they're not making it easy for a lot of you guys to sleep with anymore. They're requiring you to make payments now. That's why you have OnlyFans, where women post their tail, their feet, and various other things, and you guys are paying money to see this stuff. Really, I don't know what's the matter with you guys that you would literally go pay a woman to see her toes. I'm not paying for that. I am not paying. Now, listen, you got some women that are so bold, they got ugly feet, bro, and they got Instagram pages, and guys are literally liking their photos. It gotten that bad that women have ugly feet, bro, and they're posting that garbage, and men are literally going thirsty. And this is why the game is all messed up, because of you guys, man. You guys have ruined the game. A woman cannot be a 304 if a man is not sleeping with her. She can't be. If a woman is sleeping around with every man, then that means men are the main source of the problem. Because here's the thing. If a woman is a 304, if a woman is a single mom, who made her a single mom? Obviously, a man is sleeping with her. So why aren't we addressing these men? Because it's not entertaining. We won't get no views. We won't get a YouTube check if we hold men accountable. So how the hustle works on YouTube, you got to focus on bashing women only while making men look like they're innocent. Now, again, the audience I got is pretty much male and female. That's my audience. My audience consists of male and female. You see the balance? 45, 54. That's a good balance right there. Now, if my balance was 85, 20 something, that would be a problem. That would be a problem. That'll let you know that my channel is a female bashing channel. If your channel is predominantly men, you have a female bashing channel. That's how you know the difference. Go tell these YouTubers to show you those stats. Go tell these female content creators to show you those stats. I bet you they won't. Go to a female channel where predominantly men are on. That's a woman who bash women. If you see women talking about how negative women are and women this and women, she's just catering to the men. She's just pandering to the men. That's how she get her support. That's how she pay the rent. Trust me when I tell you these things. Go ask these content creators to show you those stats. I bet you they won't. They won't be transparent, guys. I'm the only platform that's transparent, man. All these other YouTubers are fake.
Can you prepare a sandwich? Can you be modest? Can you nurture the household?
Why would you ask a woman, can you be modest, as if though you really care? Let's just face it, bro. You just want to have sex with these women. I don't know why these guys don't just speak the truth and be honest. Most men just want to get laid. Most men, when they holler at a woman, they want to sleep with her. They're not interested in if she's modest or any of these things. They don't. The average man in today's day just want to sleep with a woman. That's why I tell these ladies, keep your legs closed and gravitate towards the man that you know is the right guy for you. That's why you got to look at a man. You got to recognize his track record. You got to see how he move. A real man, a real boss is not out here trying to see how much women he can smash. He's too busy focusing on either his money, his health, his family, and just taking care of business at the end of the day. You know, that's the kind of man you ladies are supposed to gravitate towards because he's about his business, you know? But if he is literally trying to sleep with every single woman that he's around, he's not committed. He's thirsty. He's not getting sex. He's thirsty. He wants some buns. That's what he wants. So he don't really care who he get it from. He's just trying to get anything he can get.
Or is your pride too strong to do these simple things? I know what it is. Your OnlyFans and Instagram is still trending. You're waiting on the decline, then you'll submit. You won't follow a man until the clout fades. And that's why men with purpose don't even look in your direction anymore.
That's a damn lie. He's talking about men of purpose won't look in her direction anymore. Why would a man of purpose be looking in the direction of a 304? Think about what I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is addressing women that are for the streets. He's bashing women, right? Why would a man of value be even looking her way in the first place? Why? Men of value are not looking at a 304. They're not. So what is he talking about? It's not making any logical sense. The truth of the matter is men in general want to sleep with women. So bashing women because they're promiscuous, it makes no logical sense when your goal as a man is not to wife them up. You just want to smash. If that's the case, all of us brothers would be childless and sexless. which mean all of you guys that frequent female bashing channels haven't slept with a woman in the past 5 to 10 years. So is that the case? If I was to ask all you guys, when was the last time you slept with a woman? How many of you guys would answer truthfully? That's when you'll get the crickets. Because if you say, oh, last week or yesterday or last month, then bro, the next question is she your wife? The answer is no. So what exactly are you doing? What makes you so special? What makes you such a good man? And she's a 304 when you slept with her last month or last week and she's not your wife. See, that's the hypocrisy of us brothers. We condemn the women, but we don't condemn ourselves. We take no accountability for our part in the dysfunction of our community. We'll say a woman is a 304, but when it comes to a man, we'll say he's a gentleman. How you a gentleman and you piping down all these different women and you ain't committed to none of them? See, again, it's not entertaining. You're not going to like me as a brother. You're going to say, oh, I'm bashing men. Do you see my point? So go to those female bashing channels and stay subscribed over there and stay off my channel. Because over here, we teach men to be men. We don't got no time for none of that BS. If you want to be a child, if you want to be a teenage boy, you go watch female bashing channels all day because that doesn't make you a better man. It just makes the content creator get paid. Some of you guys will pay men to bash women. You'll pay other brothers on YouTube as long as they're bashing women all day because you get entertained by that stuff. I don't see how that's entertaining. It don't make no sense because you're never getting married. You're not building yourself up as a man. It just makes no sense.
Which brings us to reason 9. You only want to be wife material because OnlyFans ain't hitting. Oh, now you want to be covered. Now you want to provide her. Now you want to start salvaging the worth you have left. No, ma'am. You didn't want a husband when you had no stretch marks.
You see what he's doing? He's more bashing when you didn't have no stretch marks. In other words, she gained weight. These guys are not sincere. They just want to sleep with a woman. Majority of men that watch female bashing channels will sleep with any single mother known on the earth. These guys are hypocrites. A lot of you ladies, you know the truth. A lot of you ladies, you got these type of guys in your DMs. A lot of these ladies, you know that these men are fake. They'll sleep with you no matter what. You know what I mean? You could be a single mother. You could be a 304 with 100 bodies. These men will be in your DMs talking about they trying to wife you up. I'm telling you facts. These guys are fake, man. Absolutely fake.
You didn't want to commit when your DMs were jumping. You didn't want a leader when you were catching flights and showing up to Airbnbs. Now the rent's due. The engagement is down. Your audience is looking at the more young and firm. Your OBGYN is tired of warning you and diagnosing you. And now you want to pivot into Proverbs 31. Let me tell you something. You don't get to ride pipe by pipe for 15.
You know the reason why these type of content creators have a bunch of music playing in the background? It's because their words have no value. And the music is designed to put you in a trance or try to make them sound like they're eloquent and cool, when really it's just pure garbage. They can't hold themselves. They can't speak fluently. See, when I go live, I'm speaking fluent. There's no cut, copy, paste, none of that mess. It's just 100% accuracy.
Years. And ask for a husband while you bring coochie full of mileage.
Coochie full of mileage, but yet you laying D on different women everywhere you go. And you're not committed to none of these women. You ain't going to talk about that, right? You ain't going to talk about all the women you smash and you left them high and dry. No intentions on making them your woman or even a wife. Heck, half of you guys won't even make the woman, you won't even be committed to the woman. Let's just erase the whole marriage thing. You wouldn't even commit yourself to the woman to even have her in your life long term. We're not even talking about a marriage license or contract, just you being with her. You can't even do that. You see how that worked? Why? Because your intentions was never to be with her. It was just to sleep with her. So once you ladies recognize that a lot of these guys just want to pipe you down, they have no intentions on being with you, you'll learn to maneuver in a certain way. And when you do that, that's going to help you to gravitate towards the right kind of man. See, when I talk about men having more than one wives in terms of polygyny, a lot of times you ladies get upset. No, that's designed to help you get with the right kind of man. Because a man that practices polygyny, He's a man that typically have a wife in whom he's with long term. He's a provider, he's a protector, and he's doing what he got to do. And he's not out in the streets fucking different women and playing this little game. So typically that kind of man is the kind of man you would be happy with. Why? Because he's not out there doing dirt. He's committed to his women. But you're trying to turn a man that is not committed to nobody into some sort of husband, and he's not going to do that because he's in the streets. Do you see what I'm saying? Men were never designed to be with one woman. I know that bothers a lot of you ladies, but I'm here to tell you the truth. Men were never designed to be with one woman. The problem is men don't know how to control their urges and understand purpose. They don't understand taking care of a family. They don't understand that they're not supposed to be out here slinging D and creating babies out of wedlock every other day. That's why a lot of these guys are on child support. Why would I, as a man of knowledge, be outside sleeping around with a bunch of damn women, impregnating them all day long, setting myself up for child support? Why would I do that? That's dumb. That don't make no sense. So a man got to be smart and intelligent. You don't supposed to be putting seeds in women knowing the consequences of you getting possibly placed on child support. So you got to be with a woman that you know is true. You see what I mean? So you got to have discipline and be able to choose wisely. And sometimes in order to choose wisely, it may be a season where you're not dealing with women. It may be a season where you're not with 1,000 different women up and down the street because you're more focused on getting yourself together. But a lot of you guys, man, you think about women every day. You can't even function without thinking about a woman. And you're wondering why your health is declining. You're wondering why you're out of shape. You're wondering why your money is not looking right. Why? Because you're not focusing on the needful thing. You're focused on vagina all day. You're wondering why a lot of these women are making money and a lot of you guys are not. It's because they're focusing on getting their house. They're focusing on getting their credit right. They're focusing on getting this paper. And they're not focusing on a man the way you are. If you really think about it, women do not sign up to OnlyFans because a man got an OnlyFans page. Women do not sign up to OnlyFans to see D or to see a man posing. Women are not stupid. They don't sign up for that BS. But you dudes, you'll sign up to OnlyFans to see a woman's breasts. How pathetic are you, bro? You're a weak man, can't you see? You're weak. A woman is able to take your eyelids and literally keep it open watching her breasts, watching her feet, and you sitting there whacking off, beating off, lusting off over what? A still image? She got that kind of power over you? And your pockets are empty like rabbit ears? You're wondering why your life is down? You're literally gaining weight? You talk about women not being in shape. How many of you brothers are not in shape? How many of you brothers got a bare belly? A dad bod? How many of you brothers are not in shape? Never hit the treadmill, never on a bike, not lifting weights, don't do no push-ups, you don't run, you don't jog, you don't do a damn thing. But you have the nerve to talk about how these women are losing their value and their sexual market value. Well, what about yours? You're not a sex symbol. What about yours? For some reason, men believe they could be out of shape and still pack and pull women. Man, stop it, bro. You got to get yourself right, too. Just as you want women to have a nice looking body, you don't think women want us to have a nice looking body, too? You don't think your woman want you to look nice, too? Women want to see something nice as well. So it's very important for us men to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and focusing on the needful things and stop chasing vagina all day and get this money. You know, if our bills are not getting taken care of, if our health is off, but we chasing women, women are not going to respect us. Because here's the thing, guys. You could be chasing a woman around and she's going to look at you and she's going to be like, wait a minute, your money not right, your health not right, but you chasing me? Your priorities are all out of order. You're supposed to be focusing on business. I ain't saying you can't talk to women. I ain't saying you can't entertain a woman. At the same time, a woman needs to know that you're more focused on your business and your health. If you put the woman before that, you're out of order, guy. You're out of order.
You shouldn't expect to be walked down the aisle to the altar, but you can continue to get buzzed in after 2 a.m. Number 10, which is the final one, so make sure y'all like this video. You've rejected submission so long, you think order is slavery.
You see what he's doing? He's saying that she rejected submission so long that she think it's slavery now. You see what he's doing? He's basically saying the things us brothers been talking about in various videos, and he's not giving you the context behind it. He's just regurgitating what he hear. He's not really a content creator. He's a content regurgitator.
You hear leadership, you roll your eyes. You hear structure, you start quoting feminism. You hear submission and think it's oppression.
Well, why aren't you following and looking for good women? Because you're speaking of women that are in the streets. How could you expect a woman in the streets to want to submit? Her job is to be in the streets. Haven't we always said, it's your turn? We ever heard that saying that it's your turn, meaning to get with a woman? So it's not really a loss. It's your turn right now. So if she's in the street, she's doing her job. You can't convert her into a wife. You can't expect her to have morals and values. I don't understand, why do dudes expect a 304 to be God conscious? That's like going to a corn star and expecting her to do the right thing. Her job is doing corn. She don't have morals and values. She don't. She's doing what she's supposed to do to get that check. You understand? So I don't get why he's not focusing on the good women. I bet you he don't give good women the time of day. And it's very difficult to find good women because the most women that are considered good women, number one, a lot of you, if I can touch on this for a second, is a lot of you don't make known who you are. You're invisible. You have no social media presence, no photos of what you look like. So don't expect a man to like you, because if a man can't see you and you're not physically appealing to him, he can't like you and he can't notice you. So that's another mistake that a lot of quote unquote good women do. Another thing with good women, quote unquote, is they become good women when they're in their 50s and 60s. At that age, ladies, men are not looking to marry you. And you got to listen to the truth. This is the truth. You're not in your prime. Always remember, 20, 30, 40 the most, men are pretty much going to be focused on you because of youthfulness, right? Especially if you're able to bear children. So if you're a good woman and you're not available, meaning if we can't see you, how could you expect a man to give you an opportunity? I just don't get it. It's like, let's say you have a bunch of women that are in my live chat. I don't know nothing about you other than seeing a username. That's all I see is a username. Even if you have an avatar, that's all I know. I don't know if you're real. I don't see a social media. There's no email. There is nothing that I can see to say, wow, that sister look good. Man, she fine. Let me hit her up, see what's good. Can't. I don't know nothing about you. So who are men hitting up? The 304s, the Insta Thoughts, the OnlyFans women, the corn stars, because they're visible. So if you're a good woman, right, nobody knows you're good. You get what I'm saying? Nobody knows you're good. So you can be as good as you want to be. Us men have no clue who you are. You are invisible. So the only one who can see you are the men that are in your community, the men that are on your job. Those are the only men who can see you. So it's up to them to know if you're good. But us brothers that are on social media, we don't know nothing about you other than you being in a live chat, in a comment section, or whatever the case is. If you don't have no social media presenting who you are, then you're invisible. So this is why a lot of times good women remain single for the rest of their lives, because they don't know how to put themselves out there. Another thing is they think because they're good women that they don't have to hit the gym. They believe because they're good women, they don't have to get in shape. They don't have to eat right. They don't have to have a nice looking body. They believe they don't have to do none of that. They just be good women. Well, good women ain't going to keep a man if you don't look the part. Just like a man got to hit the gym, just like a man want a woman that is fit. The same thing. If you're a good woman, that sounds nice, but if you don't look attractive, don't expect no man to be all over you. So you got to get that priority in order and stop playing this damn game, hiding behind I'm a good woman, but yet you don't look good. You don't get your nails done. You don't take care of your body. You don't smell good. You don't love yourself, but you call yourself a good woman. So at that point, you're just making excuses. You're just saying you're a good woman because it sounds good, and you figure by saying that it's going to attract a man. No, it's not. Men are attracted by what they see first and foremost. Then we start to judge your character. And if your character match and the beauty and everything is there, that's going to seal the deal for that man. So you can hide behind, I'm a good woman, but you could still be bad. You can still have a past. You can still have a history. There could be dirt in your life that we just don't know about. So saying you're a good woman in today's day is not going to cut it. You got to have proof. You have to have character and a track record and something that can be displayed for a man to see, for him to investigate. If not, you're just going to be there for the rest of your natural life saying I'm a good woman and these men don't give us a time of day. Well, no man know you exist. Have you ever dawned on you? Some of you ladies, like, you'll pull up to my live stream, you'll be in the chat with no avatar, no links, no social medias, and you'll be crying about how much of a good woman you is. And then if we were to ask you your age, you 65 years old. And I'm saying to myself, lady, you're 65 years old. Who are you trying to get with in today's day? And why you're a good woman now in your 60s, but you weren't in your 20s and 30s. Come on, man. Let's stop playing games. You're in your 60s, but now you're a good woman. What do you expect to happen by coming to my channel? That I'm going to take you and make you some wife? I'm just being honest, man. Like, we gotta stop playing these little games and recognize what you can and can't do. What kind of value you have at 65 years old that is going to attract a man right now. Be honest with yourself and stop playing. See, I'm not going to pander to you. I'm not going to sauce you up. I'm not going to try to make you think you're the queen of the earth. I'm not doing none of that. I don't got time for that mess. I'm not fake. You know what I mean? If you're a youthful, vibrant looking lady in your 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever the case is, even if you're in your 50s and you look good, then you're going to automatically be able to attract a man. You're going to attract a man, but here's the thing. If you're going after a man that's not going after you, you wasting your time. And if there's a particular man that's on your radar and you're not even gravitating towards that man, you're wasting your damn time. How the hell you attracted to a man like a man, but you ain't telling that man that you into that man? It makes no damn sense. Nobody ain't no damn mind reader. You know? I don't understand this mess, fam. I don't know, man. This is just absolutely crazy, bro. But anyway, man, let's get back to the content.
Let's get one thing straight. Submission is not slavery. It's not abuse. It's not weakness. It's the divine flow of relationships. But you've been rebellious for so long, that order feels like jail time. That's why when a man of principle comes around, you...
If he's a man of principle, why is he sleeping around with 1,000 women and ain't wifing them up? If he's a man of principle. He ain't no damn man of principle, man. Most of these guys are hypocrites, man. Guys, listen, 90% of men in today's day just want to screw. They're not even thinking about wifing women up. Men are not even thinking about marriage anymore. They're not. Because people are telling them, you need a prenup. Half of you men are broke. What do you need a prenup for? She ain't going to get anything anyway. So I don't even know why y'all talking about prenup when you broke. You know? Let's go.
Sabotaging. You'd rather date a man you can control than marry a man who can correct you. And that, sis, is why you're categorized. That is why men put you in a hotel instead of a house.
Why would a man put her in a hotel in the first place if he's a quality man? If a man is a quality man, why would he put her in a hotel rather than a house? Because he just want to screw. He knew the assignment. His whole purpose was to get her in a hotel, not to put her in no damn house. See, the problem is he's being disingenuous and he's not telling the truth, that these men just want to screw. That's all.
All right, final thoughts. To the women.
To the women.
Y'all say I'm not for the streets, but the evidence says otherwise.
The evidence. So who is he talking to? He's talking to the majority of women because he said to the women. So the question is his purpose and goal trying to reform 304s? Is his goal trying to convert HOEs into housewives? Is he personally trying to get with a 304 to make her a wife? Because you cannot convert a 304 into a housewife, right? The truth is the majority of men love 304s. To the ladies out there that are 304s, HOEs, OnlyFans models, women of the night, whatever your dark secret is, I'm here to tell you the truth. The majority of these men on social media actually love you women. That's the truth. They really do. They really do. He even copied my point where I said final thoughts. Did y'all notice that? Did y'all catch the part where he said final thoughts? Don't I always do that, guys? My final thoughts on the video. I'm telling you, these dudes copy everything I do, bro. That's why I keep telling you, this YouTube thing is something else, man. None of these dudes have any original thought. They just copy what the next person does, bro. They're not content creators. And then when they have some views and some success, y'all turn them into these idols, and now you end up finding them in a damn room with alcohol and drugs and all sorts of mess. Or they end up like Kevin Samuels. You see what I mean? All because of why? Being fake. Not being real, man. Not being real. And I don't like it, man. I cannot stand all that fake stuff, bro. Let's see what he say, man.
If your body count is classified, if your submission is conditional,
you don't care if a woman's body count is classified or not, as long as she's giving you head and throwing that thing back. No man, when he's hitting a woman up, is concerned about how many men she slept with. None. Men do not care about none of that. If you cared about that, you would not be kissing these women. Because if you knew how many D's were in her mouth, why would you kiss her? That just shows you guys are fake, bro. You would tongue down a woman knowing her mouth been filled with other men's semen, bro. You know this, and you still would tongue her down, knowing her history, but you don't care. Why? Because you're thirsty. So I don't know why these guys be talking all this mess when they're not even trying to marry a woman. I get it. No man wants a woman to be his wife if she been around the block. Of course not. At the same time, you guys are not looking for wives, so why do you care? If I'm not looking to make a woman a wife, why would I care how many men she slept with? Why would I care? If I'm just trying to screw. If I'm just trying to get my rocks off, I don't give a damn how many bodies she got. That's not on my mind. I'm just keeping it a buck. The only time you would care about that is if you're trying to make this woman your wife. But when you look at men in today's day, they're not trying to make women their wives.
If your peace depends on a man's paycheck, if your loyalty lasts as long as your hairstyle, then ma'am, you're for the streets. You don't need prayer circles. You need repentance.
He's telling women they need repentance, but men don't. Men don't need repentance for sleeping around with all these women, leaving them with babies, impregnating them, scarring them, leaving them emotionally drained. You're telling me the men don't need repentance, right?
You don't need love. You need correction.
So you're trying to tell women they need correction, but you're not correcting the men that sleep with these women. This is the hypocrisy I cannot stand with these ninjas.
The moment you stop thinking that men are the problem and start asking why you keep getting dismissed.
Why you keep getting dismissed is because men are the problem. If men are the ones laying up with these women and women are supposed to be the emotional ones, shouldn't men take accountability? Even the Bible says women are the weaker vessel, which means as a man, you're supposed to be the logical one, the stronger vessel. So how come as men, we're not making logical decisions when it comes to the women we deal with? Why is it that we as men take advantage of weaker women? Why do we do that? You know, as a man, women are susceptible to words and running game on them. So why do men run game? Why do men are good with their words and manipulate women into getting their clothes off? See, men are really the problem, but we don't want to take accountability for it. We just blame the woman, just like Adam blamed his wife for him taking the fruit. Imagine that. He blamed his wife when God told him not to touch the tree, but yet he blamed his wife.
You'll stop being a cum dumpster.
So you're telling women stop being a cum dumpster, but yet you like to have sex with them. This is the problem with you men, and the reason why the community is effed up. It's because you content creators are so damn evil that you would sit there and call a woman a cum dumpster, but yet you don't consider the amount of cum you deposited in women, and you never wanted to marry them. But you don't take no accountability for what you did. None whatsoever. She's the cum dumpster.
And finally start optimizing yourself for suitability. And to the fellas, you're not crazy, you're not bitter, you're not judgmental.
Wow. He just told the fellas, you're not crazy, you're not judgmental, you're not bitter. You see that? So basically, men get a pass. Listen to that, guys.
Finally start optimizing yourself for suitability. And to the fellas, you're not crazy, you're not bitter, you're not judgmental. You're wise for avoiding women who refuse to grow.
He said that these men are wise for avoiding women that refuse to grow. So why aren't you men avoiding sleeping with these women? Why aren't you doing that? You see, when I do content like this, all the men get upset. The men get upset. You know why? Because they want me to bash women. But what I'm doing is I'm holding men accountable. He just talked about men avoiding these women. These men are not avoiding these women. They're having sex with them. That's why these women become baby mamas. That's why these women have high body counts. It's because all of the men are sleeping with them. So why are men sleeping with them? Why don't these men just go their way?
You're righteous for protecting your peace, your purpose, and your name.
He said that these men are righteous for protecting their peace, their name, and so on and so forth. That's a lie. They're not righteous. If they're righteous, they wouldn't even be sleeping around. These men would have no sexual history if these men were righteous because they wouldn't be sleeping with 304s. But the truth of the matter is men want 304s. Ladies, to you ladies that hold out, to you ladies that are considered the good women, I'm going to tell you straight up, man. These men love HOEs. They love them. And the HOEs know this. Just go to any Instagram page where women are throwing their bodies around. Look at the likes. Look at the men in the comments, and you'll see thirst. These men are thirsty. They love HOEs. They love 304s. They love them. And if a 304 offered to give any of these men head, they would take it. If these 304s bent over and say hit it from the back, these men will line up. These men are not righteous. These men are evil. You understand? They're enablers. They condone the nonsense. And this is why I don't like when they talk as if though they're giving some sort of advice when really all they're doing is just pandering towards men. And that's exactly what he'd been doing throughout the whole entire video.
Keep your standards high.
How could they keep their standards high when they keep dealing with the same kind of women? But yet we always telling these women why they dealing with Pookie and Ray Ray, when the Pookies and Ray Rays is following his platform. The Pookies and Ray Rays are the one who cheers him on.
Discernment sharp and stop arguing with rebellion. We build with order. We strive for righteousness.
We strive for righteousness. Pure hypocrisy. If you strive for righteousness, you'll be obeying the commandments of the Most High in the Bible. None of you guys are doing that. Because if you were, you would not be with the woman of the night. You know, because you'll be following what the Bible says. Let's bring it out. Let's bring it out. Because a lot of you guys, you be acting like you righteous until we bring out the scriptures, right? Watch this. Let me get this scripture for you. Okay, let's get this on the screen. Very, very important that we get this for you guys. Because again, a lot of you guys love to talk about how righteous you are and all this other stuff. When you're not righteous, you're evil. You know? You're evil. You're wicked. You don't have God in your heart. And that's why you keep attracting demons. Right? Let me show you what the Bible says. And this is going to make this guy look like more of a clown than he really is. You know? Let me show you what this is, guys. Some of you guys that watch my platform, you follow him. I know you do, because a lot of you simps, you love following these kind of guys that pander towards your emotional needs. But let me show you what the Bible says. He just talked about being righteous, right? So let's show you what the Bible says to see if men are really righteous. Let's see if he's righteous. The book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 23 to 29 says, "For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instructions are the way of life." Do you see that? So the commandments of the Most High is a lamp, the laws of the Most High is a light, and reproofs of instructions are the way of life. These are the things that us brothers must follow to keep the lights on so that we're able to see in the darkness. Now watch verse 24. "To keep thee from the evil woman." How many of you brothers are being kept from the evil woman? From the flattery of the tongue of the strange woman. So now we got two different kinds of woman: the evil woman and the flattery of the tongue of the strange woman. Now watch what the Bible says for you guys that claim you're righteous. Look what the Bible says. The Bible says, "Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids." That's what the Bible says. Now, is that guy teaching you that? Is that guy teaching you that? No, he's not, because he's not righteous. That's the problem. The Bible says, "Lust not after her beauty in thine heart." But isn't that what you guys do on OnlyFans? Isn't that what you do on the gram? Isn't that what you do in the DMs? You lust after her beauty. Why? Because as men, we're going to be attracted to what looks beautiful. So to all you good women that talk about how good you look, how good you are as a good woman, do you look good? Because the Bible is clear that men will be attracted to women. So it's telling us, lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. Watch this. Verse 26 talks about the 304. "For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? So he that go into his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent." See, none of you guys that touch the 304 are innocent. None of you. So I don't know why you judging and bashing her. The Bible makes it very clear. "So he that go into his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent." So how can a man talk about 304s and women who are for the streets, but yet you sleeping with them? Remember the scriptures where the man brought the woman to be stoned and said she was caught in the act of adultery and said that she should be stoned according to the law? And what happened? What did Jesus do? He said, "He who is among you without sin cast the first stone." He wasn't talking about sin in general. He was talking about the sin of adultery. Because if the woman was caught in the very act of adultery, the question I have is, why they didn't bring the man? They only brought the woman. Because those guys were just like you fucking ninjas that hate women and bash women all day. Those men in the Bible were just like you. They brought the woman to be stoned, but they didn't bring the man. If she was caught in the act of adultery, then she was having sex with a man. So why they didn't bring the man? Because they were just like you guys that bash women, you guys that hate women, you guys that want to see women die, you guys that come to the public to bash them. It's the same thing as bringing a woman to be stoned to death. When they brought the woman that was caught in the act of adultery, they brought her to be stoned. So when you make content and you're bashing women all day, you're doing the very same thing. You're bringing women to the public so that they can be stoned. You see that? What did the Messiah say? "He who is without sin among you cast the first stone." In other words, he who is among you that didn't sleep with this woman, cast your stone. Because she was the neighborhood prostitute. So what Jesus was basically trying to do is say, hey, all you guys that are condemning this woman, how many of y'all slept with her? Because if you slept with her, throw a stone and see what happened. Throw a stone. I dare you. Throw a stone if you know you slept with her. That's what he was judging. He was judging the hypocrites that wanted to see her die. Because all those men slept with that woman. She was a neighborhood prostitute, a 304, a woman of the streets. You understand? And the church tried to bring her to stone her. Just like all these Christians, these Israelites, a bunch of damn hypocrites, always quoting scriptures and talking about the Bible, and they be out here committing adultery and sleeping around with other men's wives, fornicating and doing a bunch of evil, and out here talking a whole bunch of ish on social media like they righteous. A bunch of damn demons. The Bible says, lust not after her beauty in thine heart. Is that man teaching men not to lust after the 304? No. It tells you by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread. This is why you guys are always weak. That kind of male channels that bash women, it produce weak men. It produce weak men. Because men are weak when they allow a woman to take him with her eyelids. It says, lust not after her beauty. Don't desire her. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Women like that are hunting you guys down and taking your soul and your energy. And male channels like this that bash women, those guys are just capitalizing off of your insecurities and your issues. That's all they're doing. He don't care about none of you brothers. He's just doing what pay the bills. All he's doing is just doing what pay the bills. Again, look at the comments. He said, sat in on some Zoom calls and the fellas took time out to tell me where I was losing them and where I was gaining them. So I finally understand who my audience is and where the problems come from. So he adjusted his platform to speak only on bashing women so that he could cater to his male audience, because that's what the men want to see. They want to see him bash women, talk about women to make us weak men feel good about our insecurities because we're not getting vagina. And normally it's the men that are not getting vagina that love women bashing channels. If you're a dude who get head early in the morning, head later on in the evening, head later on at night, and you're blowing a woman back out every other day, you are not on a female bashing channel. None of that stuff is entertaining to you. You're going to look at all of those guys as losers because you're going to be like, bro, y'all just sit around all day talking about how women are. So hold up. You guys are not outside getting y'all money. Y'all not getting y'all physical health going. Y'all don't got no woman in y'all life. When you got a woman in your life, bro, you're not thinking about women all day. You're not thinking about nothing all day. You got other priorities, man. So the men that follow female bashing channels are typically simps, losers, beta males, degenerates that don't pull women. Male divorcees who have failed relationships and they're struggling in the dating market. They're just tired. They take women on dates and they just get frustrated. They can't stand life, bruh. You know? So I'm just trying to give y'all the truth. Take it if you want. It is what it is. You know? People get mad at me because I keep everything 100 with the people. I'm a man. I'm keeping it 100. You know, that dude is not helping none of you brothers. Long term, he's not helping none of you brothers. He's focused on short-term success. Short-term success only lasts for a while. I focus on long-term success. You know, that's why when I do this type of content, it don't get a ton of views. It don't get all the likes, you know. I'll have people that unsubscribe, but in the long term, videos like this has great replay value. People will replay the video and watch it over and over because there's so much information in it that helps them to grow that they begin to appreciate the message and be like, damn, I didn't like dude when he did the video, but now I've watched his video 3 more times and yo, he was spitting a lot of truth, bro. Like for real, man. I'm over here enjoying these female bashing channels, yet I don't got a woman. I don't got no wife, no kids. I'm struggling. I'm going through it. And it's like, damn, it was the content creator that kept me going downhill. Yeah, that's right. The content creators are the ones that keep you down, brothers. They keep you down. They keep your energy low. You need to watch brothers that uplift your spirit and help you to improve as a man. Again, it's early in the morning. So a lot of you guys are supposed to be off on your way to work to do your daily do. You know, you have your lunch, you know, you talk with the fellas, you bullshit, talk, whatever. and then you go home, and then you repeat. You know what I'm saying? You get your workout going, pay your bills, do what you're responsible for doing. If you meet a young lady, it is what it is. But you shouldn't be chasing skirts all day. You got to get your priorities right as a man, especially the older you get. You start to get really serious about life. Most of you guys that are in your mid-40s and in your 50s and 60s, you're more seasoned. A lot of you brothers that are older than me, your priorities might be at a higher degree. You know what I mean? Because you're supposed to be way more mature as a man, to the point where there might be some BS I'm focused on, and you should be able to look at me and be like, damn, I don't think this brother's as mature yet because he's focusing on that petty nonsense. He ain't there yet mentally. You see what I mean? So mature men, they're on point. At least they supposed to be. Their money got to be right. Even, we're not saying you got to be rich. We're not saying you're a millionaire, but your priorities are supposed to be right. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be focused as a man. Then you deal with women accordingly. But you younger brothers, y'all getting taken advantage of by a lot of these content creators. They're going to mess your life up, man. And by the time you in your late 20s, 30s, you're going to be on child support because you were too busy pumping and dumping 304s, and you're going to get them pregnant. Just look what's going on in the industry. You have NFL players, NBA players getting women pregnant left and right, setting themselves up for destruction. I mean, you guys got to be smart. You're not smart, bruh. You're doing a lot of dumb stuff, man. It's just really, really sick, man. You know, it's just really, really sad to see this mess all day. And guys are just making bad decisions by watching these damn content creators poison their thoughts, poison their mind. And a lot of these guys don't even got relationships. They don't even have women in their lives. They don't even take care of no kids, nothing. They just losers, bro. And y'all listening to these suckers try to tell y'all what y'all need to do. And they bash women all day, but they don't hold men accountable for nothing. I don't like that type of stuff. If you're going to talk about women, talk about men too. It takes two to tango, right? If a woman is going to be a 304, it took a man to pipe her down, right? So let's talk about the men who are out here living loose and just out here piping women down and leaving them with babies. Don't talk about how women are making bad decisions all day with these men, and you're not talking about the men that are making bad decisions too. Balance out the playing field. That's how you build an audience of both men and women that will respect your content, because they realize you're not pandering to men and you're not pandering to women. You know, my content is balanced for men and women, for all age groups, you know, because I actually am a family man. I am a father. I am a leader. So I got to be an example in all areas. I can't BS you. I can't. There's no room for it. I'm going to get caught. I'm going to get caught and I will get exposed. So I can't play any games. I got to be 100% authentic with the people. No games, you know? So, hey, we're going to get up on out of here, do what we need to do, and pretty much wrap up the stream. Let me just let him give his final thoughts, and then we're going to sign off.
And we protect our peace at all cost. And I know I'm going to see you fellas in the comments. And to the women still listening, if you're ready to do away with being a heathen.
Notice he said if women are ready to do away with being a heathen. So he's trying to convert a 304 into a housewife. Check it out.
Shoot me an email so I can help you recalibrate.
He want you ladies that are 304s, women of the night, to hit him up with an email so he can recalibrate your mind. Are you going to do that?
You need to know what you should bring to the table in order to be taken serious and considered as a valuable option. You will learn that in this video. Watch it, take notes, and send me an email if you have any disagreements.
Look at this mess. Why in the world would these women send you a damn email? For what? You just disrespected these women. You shamed them. You belittled them. You bashed them with a lot of derogatory statements. Why would they even hit you up for any advice? You see what he's doing? So he's basically saying that it's a possibility for 304s to be converted into housewives. That's his way to get some buns, bruh. He want women to hit him up. That's his way to get women in bed, y'all. Y'all got to understand the play. I can see right through these charlatans. Women hitting them up, hey, my name is Charlene, and, you know, I'm a 304, and he's probably like, hey, babe, you know, maybe we could link up. I can do a one-on-one session. Now he's sleeping with her. This man ain't trying to help none of you ladies, bro. He's just trying to line his pockets and see who he can smash at the end of the day, bro. That's why these dudes in these streets don't ever try to even mention my name, bro, because they already done know what's going to happen. I'm going to roast them. I'm going to make 1,000 videos and I'm going to put them on blast. And everybody in the world going to know they a fraud, bro. Nobody want no fucking smoke with Ringo TV. Nobody. Because if you even dare try to challenge me, I'm going to destroy you with nothing but logic, breaking down everything. And just in case dude try to put any video on private, I downloaded his entire YouTube channel, every video. So I got all the videos backed up on hard drives already. You know what I mean? Why? Just in case dudes try to contradict themselves, I'll just bring back up the old tape and be like, bruh, you said this in 20 such and such. A year ago, you said this about women, and we roll the tape and figure it out. It is what it is, man. So I'm just trying to help you guys, help you ladies to understand the real so that you don't get taken for a ride. You know what I mean? Because I believe in being transparent and keeping it official with the people. You know what I mean? So we're going to sign out, do what we got to do. I got to take care of some business. Be back later on with more content. Right? So, hey, I told you I was going to make another breakdown with this video to break it down even further. And I just wanted you to know that this is the truth, fam. This is literally how women bashing channels attract and produce weak men. The more men watch those kind of channels, they become weak. They're not being prepared for marriage. They're not being prepared for dating. And it attracts them because these men are typically losers. Men typically love HOEs. All you ladies that take your clothes off, you're always being promiscuous, men love you more than good women. Because why? You're easier to get in bed. So when you listen to these guys bash you all day, it's because they love you. They love you and they're just mad that they can't get you in bed. The real issue is they're mad because they can't get you in bed. That's the real truth. And ladies know, a lot of these guys are just mad because they can't. A lot of the men are mad because they can't get certain women they want in bed, man. So they become sexually frustrated. They're like, bro, I hit her up in the DM. I did this. Bro, do you not realize how many men hit women up in the DM? You're not the only dude in the DM, clown. You see what I mean? This is what social media did. Social media gave women too many options where men are in their DM, so they think they're all that. Back in the day, you had to go to a woman face to face. Today, you slide in her DMs. That doesn't mean she like you. It's always good to wait for a woman to like you. Those are the best kind of women to get with, a woman that like you. Because when she hit you up, her mind is already made up that she want you. And if her mind is made up that she like you, she want to sleep with you too. So you don't really got to do all that extra work, you know? So it is what it is, man. I'm going to get up on out of here, man. Y'all take care. Peace and blessings to the mods in chat. Rate, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back later on with more content, breaking these videos down. Stop letting these YouTubers play you. To all you young brothers, man, stop getting bamboozled and hoodwinked by a lot of these ninjas that just try to get a click and a view off of you. You know what I mean? When you come to Ringo TV, we give you the real. We don't sugarcoat. We tell you what's the real deal. We don't pander to you brothers. We don't pander to no damn women. We speak the truth, raw and uncut, the way you need to hear it. Right? So, hey, I got to get to work. Got to do what I got to do. Get my day going. And I'll be back with more content. Ringo TV reactions. Rate, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch y'all later on, man. Let's get those likes up. Share the video. Share the content. That's how we spread the word, man. We out. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on Patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/RingoTVRaw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at RingoTVRaw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw.